So when the blitz hits and the clock's running low, you know he's the captain, steady as he goes, checking down, making moves. It's hard, but he's cool. I gotta take that glance. He's calling captain, check down, scanning the field, never wears a frown. Got the arm, but he's playing it safe, dropping dimes, but it's short, just a taste. Pressure's on, but he's cool like ice. Zone blitz coming, better think twice. Defense is scheming, trying to catch him slipping, but he's got a plan. Keep the chain still moving. Bet he's got a plan, keep the chain still moving. Captain check down, always in control. Making plays, but never takes the hole. Field vision sharp, but he's cautious, no doubt. When it's getting tight, better check it down. In the pocket, better come correct. This ain't no discount, double check. Looking left, looking right. Eyes on the prize, but he's dumping it short while the pressure flies. Touchdown's a dream, but he's playing it smart. Taking what's there, never plays the part. Running backs and tight ends, always in the mix. Quick release, man, that's his fix. Captain check down, always in control. Making plays, but never takes the hole. Field vision sharp, but he's cautious, no doubt. When it's getting tight, better check it down. Fans in the stands, they want to see more, but he's reading the game.
Like, for 2.5 seconds, I thought that was Mike.
You're close. You're close.
Mike, you doing stuff undercover?
Yeah, Captain Checkdown gets his man back again. Thank goodness that everybody got to witness that. Like, nobody knew that was going to happen. When's Bakhtiari going to sign with him now?
Oh, are we talking about the New Jersey Packers?
The
New York Packers? Yeah,
At this point, they might as well rename it.
Well,
Listen, I've never heard anybody in the NFL that's a player have this much pull. This is like a LeBron James in the NFL type feel.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe not to the same magnitude, but has that.
No, it's the exact same magnitude.
Yeah.
In fact, the guy thinks we're dumb enough to think that he doesn't have pull, right?
Yeah,
if you think I've got that power in this building. Nathaniel Hackett still has a job. What is Nathaniel Hackett even doing on the sidelines?
Like, he's not even calling plays, but yet still.
He's the Aaron Rodgers whisperer. Like, that's what he is.
He's the water boy.
4 yards from a 300-yard game. I tell you what, the Jets aren't going to win a game until they get Aaron Rodgers his 300-yard game. He doesn't want to hear us in the media talk about the fact that he's gone 28 or 29 straight games now without
the fact that they have two good running backs and they're more worried about throwing the ball and not letting that offensive line get better by allowing you're better at running the ball than you are throwing the ball.
When the report came out that Devante was going to the Jets, I was really excited. I'm not going to lie. I was very excited for a multitude of reasons. For one, I started to really deep dive into what Davante Adams has been doing. Shout out Trick or Treat, Score a Treat in the comments. Get yourself one of these boxes. If you hit up in the comments, comment Trick or Treat, Score a Treat. And we'll hit you up in the DMs and send you one of these Halloween card boxes. But anyways, so when I was checking out Davante Adams there, shout out to that giveaway, Trick or Treat, Score a Treat, the Burr months. But anyway, so I started digging into him. I'm like, man, what has Davante Adams done to make his game elite this offseason? And turns out he's been practicing a lot at left guard. So this is going to ensure that offensive line no longer has the holes that will give Aaron Rodgers time to throw the ball. This will also, because Davante Adams is playing left guard so fucking wonderfully, this is also going to allow the Jets to start running the ball more successfully.
Did he also put on about 175 pounds, too?
Throw on the fact that he's also going to have 1,500 yards and 27 touchdowns. He's also going to throw for 6 touchdowns. He's going to then go tackle on the defense, because we all know that the only reason Max Crosby was as good as he is now is because Davante Adams was on the Raiders. So that means that now their defense is going to be magically better. But you know what? It didn't fucking stop there. Turns out he's also been practicing field goal kicks. So he's going to be kicking fucking field goals. He's going to get 1,500 yards receiving. He's going to throw for 7 touchdowns. He's going to catch 27 touchdowns. He's going to block on the left guard, and he's going to allow that offensive line to start running the ball better. That's what Davante Adams brings to the Jets.
Basically, we're saying Travis Hunter, who?
Yeah.
Yes.
Devante.
Because Davante Adams is going to blow what Travis Hunter's been doing out of the water. Because he's going to be 100% all over the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, put your books in now. You heard it here first.
We can't, it's like people are like, well, you can't yell at the Cowboys for not going all in after they're saying they're going to go all in, and then yell at the Jets for going all in. This is not fucking going all in. This is retarded. Like in every sense of, and not like the amazing way that some people have faltered in the 90s, but just
this is
absolutely stupid. Everything about this is stupid.
You would think they got Michael Jordan in his prime or something.
It's
like
Davante
like an
Adams.
NBA team. Yeah.
Did Davante Adams help Aaron Rodgers win a Super Bowl?
No.
Because Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl without Davante Adams.
Did Davante Adams even make Vegas any better?
No.
The only thing
now he got a Pro Bowl and an All-Pro bid out of that first year.
But did he make Vegas any better? I think the record was exactly the same with him as it was without him.
They didn't get any better. If anything, they got worse.
That Pro Bowl was bought by Mark Davis.
Either way, Davante Adams going to the Jets is about as needle moving as me being skinny. It does nothing for anybody.
You realize that Aiden Hutchinson getting hurt had a bigger needle effect on the Lions' Super Bowl chances than Davante Adams going to the Jets has on their playoff chances.
Oh yeah.
We're not talking Super Bowl.
Say that sentence one more time just to be clear. Say that sentence one more time.
Okay.
Because I don't think people understood.
Aiden Hutchinson getting hurt and being off the Lions roster now for this season affected their Super Bowl chances more than Davante Adams going to the Jets affects the Jets' playoff chances.
That's 2 different levels of team play right there. I don't think people realize that. Nobody is worried about this Davante Adams trade to the Jets.
No.
Nobody.
No, because I can run the ball. Two no-name running backs destroyed the Jets. First, it was Jordan Mason. And he's got a name now. Cool. But at the time, nobody fucking knew his name.
A last-minute plug-in.
And now again this week, magically, James Cook, gone. I can't even remember the guy's name who just destroyed the Jets in the running game
Davis
again.
and something else.
I think,
but that's beside the point.
I think Amari Cooper to the Bills moves the needle more in the Bills' favor than Davante Adams to the Jets moves the Jets' favor.
I totally agree.
Me too.
I think Davante going to the Bills moves the needle more than Davante going to the Jets. It just makes no sense. We call him Captain Checkdown for a reason, and it doesn't mean he's going to be waiting for Davante to get open 7 yards down the field. He doesn't have time to wait for somebody to get open 7 yards down the field. And that's why he's throwing these interceptions, right? People don't realize that. He doesn't have someone to throw it to. No, he doesn't have time. So
this is the fact that the team guessing. Sucks.
He's got to guess, is this guy going to get open? So now in theory,
41 this year. So he's not even mobile.
Yeah, the guess for Adams to be open is better than the guess for Garrett to be open.
Adams is going to be open. What's going to happen? He's going to target him 14 times a game, and Garrett's not going to get the damn ball. What's going to happen to Garrett? Garrett's going to want off.
He's getting force-fed that ball.
I was going to say, are we all in agreement now that they've ruined Garrett Wilson too? Garrett Wilson has taken a massive step back this year.
Yes.
Mike wants him on it. Mike is down there begging for him.
Garrett Wilson? No, I'm good. I don't need.
I'm like, no, that's Myles Garrett.
Our wide receiver room is great. That's the least of my worries in Philly. My worries in Philly are straight fucking edge rush right now, and offensive line with Jordan Mailata being out.
At what point is Philly going to turn on Hurts, though, and they want a new quarterback? Because Philly does not wait around.
It's not going to – see, this is the difference, right? Like –
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Mike gets it figured out. Charles, you said that Super Bowl odds had shifted more in the favor of Hutchinson being hurt than actually Davante Adams being traded to the Jets. Now, I could not find the numbers, but I did. There's a SI.com article that says exactly the same thing. If anybody wants to check that out, there's an article written by Sports Illustrated that says that the odds had shifted majorly.
Well, the Detroit Super Bowl odds were 6%. Losing Hutchinson, they dropped to 3%.
Yeah,
their playoff chances were
they basically got cut in half.
Their playoff chances were 68%, something like that. Now their playoff chances are 53 to 55%. Basically,
they're going to have to fill in that hole that they lost with Aiden.
I'm telling you,
make any of that ground back up.
I don't understand why their playoff chances went down when considering they dominated that game with and without him.
Hutchinson.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Pause. Just as much as it is on the Green Bay Packers, the Detroit Lions haven't fucking played anybody yet this year. One of the numbers that the Dallas Cowboys at home, right? Oh, at home last year, they were so great. Their last 4 home games, which this also includes a fucking playoff game, they give up an average of 450 total yards on offense. They've given up 167 points and only scored 61 points. Outside of Carolina, they might be the worst team in football this year.
Nobody's ready to have that conversation.
I will agree with
Nobody's
you.
ready to have that conversation.
Yeah, nobody wants to play with that.
Nobody's ready. Outside of this panel right here.
How do you get Shedeur Sanders and trade away that terrible contract?
Listen, I said 4 months ago the Dallas Cowboys were going to either find a way to tank to get Shedeur Sanders or find a way to trade up to get him. Yeah. Because at this point, they need to blow this shit up.
Because it's not a coaching issue in Dallas.
I want Travis Hunter, if anybody.
That's who they'll probably end up grabbing. It would be much smarter to get that person.
You ain't getting Travis Hunter. You ain't getting both of them either way.
No, but I don't look at the Jets any different today than I do. Actually, I look at them much different today, just not how most of the people out there are going to think. No, in a terrible way. I think it's hilarious.
I feel more bad for Detroit losing Aiden Hutchinson than I do the Jets, just for the simple fact because they are delusionally thinking that adding Davante Adams is increasing their chances at making them a Super Bowl contender. You still haven't. You're not even over 500.
Yeah, he left 1-2-4 team for another 2-4 team.
Like he's not, and it's not to take away from him as a player, but it's just I just don't like you guys said at the beginning. One, he's not getting the line to hold the defensive line as long as he needs to, and he's 40 going on 41. This isn't peak Green Bay Packers Aaron Rodgers that's in New York.
And the final point for me on the New York Packers, and then we can go around the table. I don't know. I said that. Now I laughed and I totally forgot. Davante does have the ability to go somewhere else next year. So this very well could be, because joking aside, tongue in cheek, what I did look into, not him kicking field goals or learning how to block for a left guard, was like contractual shit, and it ended up being like more or less he's got the player option next year. Nothing's guaranteed. He could go to fuck Kansas City next year and actually win a Super Bowl. This could just be a goodbye thing with his good buddy.
One more time.
You go back to all the podcasts he did when he got to the Raiders, and everything more or less was he didn't know what was up with Aaron Rodgers. And if you think that less then about Aaron Rodgers than you do today about Aaron Rodgers, I don't think you're crazy, because I obviously know it. You just went to the Raiders and Jets. You had the world at your hands in both opportunities, and you chose the Raiders and Jets. Cool. You'll probably get a few extra jersey sales. Far be it for me to stop you. The Max Crosby thing for the Raiders, that dude has said multiple times he's got shit tattooed all over his body. He's not going anywhere, and I do truly believe he has to okay any trade. But the Cleveland Browns is super interesting on account of they can't get out of the Deshaun Watson bullshit.
No, they're completely stuck in that deal.
They're 100% lost to the
contract
window.
ever.
Yeah, so our resident Philly guy has been talking for months about Howie picking somebody up. Before I give the mic back to him, I do want to point out, I don't think personnel is your issue. I think front office and sidelines is more the issue. And I don't know if bringing more people into this circus is really the best case scenario. I know it might put a little glitter on a burnt turd situation, but what I'm seeing with Philadelphia is stemming back months, including an off season. It's not one person's going to come in and change this whole culture. So it's going to be interesting to hear what you have to say.
No, I definitely agree. I don't think it's a front office thing. I think it's a head coach versus front office thing. I think Nick is pissed off that they didn't let him choose his coordinators because Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore got hired by Howie.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Nick doesn't know how to let control go. That last game was not a Kellen Moore offensively called game. That's a Nick Sirianni offense. No originality, no motion. AJ Brown was like 70% of the throws to AJ Brown were go balls. Like, that's a Nick Sirianni offense. It's not a Kellen Moore offense. I think no matter what happens, playoffs, even if we make it to the divisional round or championship round, I think Sirianni's gone. The antics are too much, chirping with fans on the sidelines, and then not owning up to your shit. I think people in Philly are going to get rid of him. They're gonna eventually bring somebody like, who's that young up and coming offensive coordinator? I can't remember where he's.
You talking about the guy for the Lions?
Yeah,
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson.
Him or like a Mike Vrabel. Obviously, there's been huge Bill Belichick talk to Philly, and Philly honestly would be a better job for him than Dallas would. But at this point, I think Jalen's got 1, maybe 2 more years in the good graces of Philly. But if he has another 18, 19 interception year, I don't know what's going to happen. Because that 22 year was so incredible that I just, if he regresses again, it's going to get bad and ugly.
Okay,
you got to ask Donovan McNabb.
Yeah. So while you were talking, I did do some digging. So right now, currently, Matt LaFleur's offense runs motion 89.5% of the time, collectively. That's the most in the NFL right now. Kellen Moore's offense, dating back to the Dallas Cowboys, historically only runs motion 20 to 30% of the time. So maybe you're just not seeing it as much as you want, but in fact, you are getting a Kellen Moore offense.
So there's a stat that I just read not even a day or two ago that said when he was on the Chargers last year, they ran motion something like 49 to 60% of the time. So his Cowboy days might not have been motion a lot, but his Charger days, they definitely ran a lot of motion with Austin Eckler and Mike, the guys they had on the Chargers. I don't think the problem is this team is so talented. Like, you have a Hall of Fame right tackle in Lane Johnson, first ballot Hall of Fame right tackle. You have a left tackle in Jordan Mailata, who's made the Pro Bowl, who has an All-Pro as well. So you have AJ Brown, who's All-Pro. You have Devante Smith, who's All-Pro. So you have the talent. Saquon was an All-Pro. Saquon was Rookie of the Year his rookie season. You have all the talent in the world. The problem is the communication between head coach, offensive coordinator, and quarterback. It's not clicking. And it's not Kellen Moore and Jalen. It's Nick Sirianni. And as much as I like the guy and he brought us to a Super Bowl or whatever, without Steichen, when he has control, Shane Steichen put his ass in his place because that was a Steichen offense. That Brian Johnson, look at what Washington's doing. He's their passing game coordinator. Like, they're doing ridiculously coordinated.
So what if I throw this into the mix? So there are reports coming out that this isn't Nick versus Moore as much as it is this is what Jalen Hurts wants. And it's more defaulting to the offense Jalen wants to run. That's coming out of Sports Illustrated Philadelphia, October 14th.
If that's the case, then Jalen's going to be done in Philly sooner than I thought. Because the problem is you cannot go 6 straight games and not score a point in the first quarter. That's unacceptable.
Mm-hmm. No, that's unacceptable for any team, not just
that's
any team.
Your first 15 script, which congratulations, Chicago Bears, just figuring that one out. But your first 15 script
is trash.
It's trash right now. Yeah.
They can't like. So if you look at the game against the Browns, Saquon had one run where he almost broke it and there was nobody. But miscommunication between him and the left guard, Landon Dickerson, stopped it. And then they just couldn't get the run going. I think Saquon finished with 10 carries for 47 yards. It was garbage. Thank God. The one thing that this offense does really well is that mesh play, where they have to fake out the defender and just move slightly so somebody gets open on that hitch route or that
illegal
under route.
pick. Yeah, illegal pick.
Yeah,
I have a question.
What?
I may be stupid, but you guys usually I'm stupid. Okay, so this is no disrespect to Kellen Moore. I'm sure he's a great guy, great human being. And I'm just looking at it. In college, great quarterback, clearly. One of the best to play in college. However, not the greatest NFL career, right? So this is his third stint as an OC in the league, right?
Yeah.
And all three of them have been mid as fuck at best. How does this man have a job?
Here's how he has a job.
Listen,
here's how he has a job. When he was in Dallas, if you look up the points per game, they were number one. They were the number one offense in the league when Kellen Moore was there.
With Mike
McCarthy. The problem, with Mike
Not
McCarthy.
with Jason Garrett.
Exactly. That's the problem, is his head coaching since Mike McCarthy has been absolute dog shit. Nick Sirianni's like a fucking 16-year-old fucking high school kid who gets his feelings hurt because people in Philly fucking boo. Like, bitch, we boo Santa. Calm the fuck down. You're not that special.
Yeah.
Sirianni is the root and cause, to go back to his stupid flower press conference. He's the root of all of the problems in Philly. Maybe Jalen wants to run this offense, but I doubt it because I've seen him play high up-tempo offense. This doesn't feel like something that Jalen's calling. If Jalen's calling it, it's going to be high up-tempo. There's going to be stuff down the middle. There's going to be more design quarterback runs.
The offense they're running is nothing like he ran in college whatsoever. So it
No.
doesn't make any sense that's
and then even with Sirianni, up to
he only had one completion over the middle.
Yeah.
Jalen is more comfortable on the numbers. When you start looking at it, it does scream, this is a Jalen thing. To me personally.
No, and
you never know.
Yeah.
If this is a Jalen thing, they got to figure it out because
it's tough.
I really don't think Sirianni's going to be back after this year. I didn't think he was going to be back after the bye,
I think we can all
honestly.
agree with that. But the one thing, too, that the reason I in my mind, it's a Jalen thing, right? It's like his numbers last year are mirroring this year. And the only constant in that scenario would be Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. And Nick isn't throwing the fucking ball.
Arguably, you improved big time at running back, too, as well. So more options. Weapons.
I completely agree. There's issues there, and I don't think you can use the injury excuse this year because he looks faster, he's running a lot smarter. But the first 4 games, he was making the stupidest decisions, like you're throwing across your body, off your back foot at the same. Come on, bro! And then that fumble against the Saints where they clipped his legs out. Come on! As soon as you get tackled, to curl that ball in.
Right.
Just it's stupid fucking decisions, and I don't know if Jalen. This is the hardest part for me to say, but I'm starting to more and more think that 2022 was an aberration as opposed to the normal with Jalen, and I think what we're seeing is Jalen is going to be.
We're starting to see what we saw in Alabama. When Tua started to take over, how Jalen had that ceiling, he just couldn't get past that glass, and we saw the glass at the Super Bowl, and that was it.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, he shattered the ceiling at the Super Bowl. He outplayed the best quarterback in the league. That loss is a team loss. That's not a Jalen thing. Jalen played insane in the Super Bowl.
So is it the curse of the contract?
But it's just like Cam Newton. Cam Newton was pretty elite up until he lost a Super Bowl. This is what happens. Really, the outlier in this scenario would more or less be Josh Allen, but he just hasn't got there yet. He keeps losing to the guy who wins it all the time.
Yeah. Because look at Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow lost the Super Bowl, ain't been the same quarterback ever since.
Oh, and that team that team's literally one good decision away from rebuilding.
So I just think
one good decision. Yeah.
Yes.
Get rid of one good person, and it's just the rest is just going to crumble.
I just think I think we'll get to the playoffs this year, but I think we're out in the
schedule should allow it. You guys do have a top 4 easiest schedule from here on out.
Yeah, I think we have the top 2 easiest schedule from here on out.
Wait, where's the other one?
We don't.
No, I think it's like
before the season you did.
I think it's Seattle or something has the easiest schedule
so
far. But
I think
Minnesota's up there. I think
Houston.
Minnesota,
I think either Houston. Who was it? I know Houston has one of the bottom 2 easiest remaining schedules.
Won 2 of the 3 games that they were supposed to lose.
And the terrible thing about that, right? The reasoning for this is, I don't know if anybody else recognized it, but it seemed like there was a lot of out of conference play in the first 8. And then the last 8 is your division.
It's
and you
crazy.
can And you can tell
all this. It's not the Bears schedule and the Packers as well. It's like
it started off supposedly easy.
Yeah, well,
but
Packers
by week 6, that schedule just
got worse.
That schedule flipped.
Yeah,
into the season.
It has a lot to do with the division. I mean, you have 8 games left, all against the division, and our division at worst is 4-2.
I literally was talking. My wife has no idea of football. But last night, I was like, in the bed, and I was like, fuck. She's like, what's wrong? I'm just got to enjoy these next few.
I'm 4-2. And
I'm 4-2, and I got to enjoy these next 3 to 4 games because come week 11, come Thanksgiving, shit's about to hit the fan.
Dude,
I've never wanted Thanksgiving to come
like
slow as
possible. She goes, babe, are you going to make the playoffs? My wife literally asked me if I'm going to make the playoffs. She goes, and I was like, honestly, if you would have asked me this 6 weeks ago, I could have gave you a hard maybe. I can't give you that right now.
Yeah. Is Tua coming back at any point this year, you think?
I hope not.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
That team is complete. Is by the time he comes back, I think they're out of the playoffs. So why even have him come back?
And again, we talked about this on a couple shows back, but to me, it's very simplistic. If the doctor doesn't tell me I can't, I'm not gonna say no to $150 million.
I
gotta blow it out.
I don't mean come back. I don't mean come back to play for the rest of his career. Come back this season.
Oh yeah, no. They anticipate him being back week 8.
That's crazy because at that point you're going to be 1-6. So like, what's the point of coming back?
You're not winning another game.
Aren't they? Don't they have 1 win? Isn't that it?
Yeah. They haven't led at all.
They're bad. They're
at
bad.
all. Not even in the game they won. They won that on a field goal that the clock.
The field goal.
There's no way
they have not led in a game at all this season.
There's no way this season ends good with Tua coming back.
No.
Well,
I just don't get it.
No.
There's no way this ends the way they think it does.
With Devante going to the Jets now and Cooper going to the Bills, it does scream Tyreek to Kansas City at this point. So
I wonder what that would look like.
The same thing it looked like a few years ago.
What could Miami get them to send him there, though?
Like, they have to ask for something. You can't ask. Can you still ask for a first-round pick for him?
No, you ain't getting a first-rounder.
What, maybe
at best,
maybe a third?
At best, I'm giving you Davante Adams.
No,
I'm giving you a 3 with a conditional 2, and we all know it's going to be a 2.
You're not giving him a 1 because at this point, the Dolphins are sitting at a top 5 pick.
Yeah, I'm definitely not giving my first-round pick. You got me all the way.
I'll give you a conditional
at
3.
At best, I'm giving you a third-round pick. At best,
yeah, a conditional 3, and we all know it'll be.
And it'll possibly turn into a second, depending on the condition.
The Hall for Amari Cooper was crazy. There was 3 picks involved. That's crazy. They got a 3rd, a 6th, and I think a 7th or something for him.
Because I think with Buffalo adding Amari Cooper to that offensive system, I feel like
I get that. It's
like
a
Charles
while,
says,
regardless, you know.
Yeah.
Amari to the Bills moves the needle way more than Devante to the Jets.
And
way more.
The thing is,
You'll have without him. So
you'll have a great Amari Cooper for 3 years. You're not finding. I can't say you're not, but the chances of you finding Amari Cooper in the draft with what you just gave up to get him are so slim. Like, the Bills are actually doing this in a sense that brings everything to reality. Hey, we've got a great quarterback, and our window is closing.
Him and Devante are really close in age. I think Cooper is 30 and Adams is 31, so it's very comparable. But
the window isn't here.
Not comparable.
No, the Jets' window is
it's closing.
Yeah. But the Bills are
the Jets have a window.
Yeah, they did.
The Jets have this hand crank window that the little kid keeps sticking his finger in to try to stop it from closing, but it's closing.
On paper, listen, on paper, before the season started, the Jets.
I'm talking about right now.
Yeah, that's why it's like this right now, bro.
It's like when you we went to this just for comparison purposes. Me and my wife went to our anniversary last year to Atlanta. Or actually, no, the city was called Cummings.
Yeah.
For all purposes, Cummings was
Texas.
Unintentional.
It's more like the kids don't want you take your kids and they stick their fingers in the freaking thing to feed the animals, and you swat their hands away and say, "Stop doing that shit because you're dumb." That's what the Jets are doing. They're like, "Hey, Devante, come here."
It's the amount of people that think this is a good trade that now all of a sudden it just brings me back to what you said in the chat the other day.
It's terrible.
Davante Adams going to the Jets is the only Super Bowl contending team.
It's terrible. I told you.
And this was by Dan. Dumbass Dan.
I told you that Aaron Rodgers is the biggest catfish of all time. He catfished Davante Adams into coming to freaking New York.
I just don't I don't get it. I don't at all, because
it makes no sense. Like
nothing about the Jets screamed we need better wide receivers.
I know we do this a lot, but let's go over the Jets' schedule here real quick.
Okay,
just so that we can get an idea of what their record could possibly be.
Terrible.
I think they play Seattle, so that's basically a win. So they have at least one win coming in.
All right, I'm gonna get this. No, they play the Steelers next.
Yeah, Steelers are up next.
Ooh, Pittsburgh's playing good.
Russell Wilson's on track to start too, so that's exciting.
All right, so you ready? They're at Pittsburgh, at New England. That's a toss-up. I can see them winning and losing that game. Well, probably winning.
They're going to be. Yeah, but last time they played New England, I think they beat them 20.
All right, then you've got the Texans at home.
Yeah,
that's a loss.
1 and 2. 1 and 2 in the next 3.
All right, at Arizona.
That's a loss.
Home versus the Colts.
Those two are toss-ups.
Yeah, that could be a win or a loss.
Joe Flacco's playing real well, though. I don't know.
Garrett's coming back.
This is where it gets a little easier for them. They've got Seattle, Miami, and Jacksonville. So that's where they can make up some ground.
Yeah.
And then they've got...
That should be 3 wins.
That should be 3 wins. So they should be above 500 at that point. All right, here's where it gets dicey. They've got at Buffalo. They got the Rams at home, then at Buffalo. Then you'd get a healthy Miami at home, probably. And then that ends your season.
That's 3 L's.
Yeah,
that's 3 L's back. If Miami gets healthy in Tua, if Tua can compete,
9 wins is all they can.
What do you think they need? They need to get to 10.
They need 11.
You have to get 11.
You have to be at 11. The Bills are going to get 11, and you've already lost to the Bills once.
Well, the Bills are going to win the division, correct?
Yeah, but do you think the Bills are going to?
The Bills should win the division. They're what, 4-2?
Do you think they're going to sweep the division?
I don't know if they'll sweep it. I think they'll slip up probably one time, but I don't know. That Cooper trade is way better than anything.
I'm way more excited about the Cooper trade than the Adams trade.
Especially fantasy owners. Congratulations.
With what Amari Cooper can still do, and he's not a diva bitch Stephon Diggs is. Amari Cooper's going to change Josh Allen's life.
Hey, guess what? They actually got a receiver who can get separation now.
Yeah. And he has the offensive line to do it.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Bills play the Titans, win.
Win.
Seahawks win.
Yeah, they're gonna
you
go on a
got
run
the-
here
then you
pretty
got the-
soon.
They have to get a
Chiefs.
wild card spot to get
Yeah,
a playoff spot.
Then you got the Chiefs, 49ers.
The Chefs.
Yeah, so
Chefs.
I mean, you're thinking 4-2 at worst come December 8th at worst, but I think they beat the 49ers. So 5-1 at worst. I think they can beat the Chiefs too. But anywho, let's give it the benefit of the doubt.
I think the
Let's go
Chiefs
5-1.
played the easiest of their schedule outside of playing Baltimore already this year.
Yeah,
I think
because then
the toughest
so
is yet to come for them.
ish, but yeah, I mean you're not wrong, but ish.
Well, I mean, outside of Baltimore beating them early in the season, I
Yeah.
think they played the easiest schedule they possibly could.
yeah, because I mean they still have the Chiefs, 49ers, and Lions on their schedule, so it's not like a cakewalk, and that's literally the end, right? It goes
Yeah,
Chiefs, 49ers, Rams, Lions, and then the last three is Bills, Jets, or Patriots, Jets, fucking Patriots, bro. Patriots, Jets, Patriots.
That's an easy 3-win streak right there by itself.
Just to end the
by
season,
itself.
you can lose 3 of the 4 that I mentioned when it comes to
Earlier,
Chiefs,
and then finish the
49ers,
season, yeah.
Rams, Lions,
And then make up for it at the end of the season.
finish 3, boom, and still be fine. I mean, this
And
is
take the division and get a home
Bills
playoff game.
all damn day, dude. It's
So
not even a
basically, it's the
question.
Bills' division to lose, but the Jets are going to have to actually play exceptional football just to even get considered
for a
for a
wild
playoff
card.
spot.
The Bills figured out they've got a decent rookie running back as well.
They got 3 running backs that
Got
they could
3
use.
running backs, yeah.
And Amari
The Jets
Cooper and
have
Dalton
2.
Kincaid now. It's like because you got to think fucking at least 10 targets a game for Cooper.
Allen goes back in the starting lineup next week.
yeah. I got a
I
big
just
decision to make.
I told Charles, I said I had to sit him on the bench because for Geno, and I said it was a very crazy
I sat
play
him for
for me.
Brock
But I
Purdy.
had to sit him because he just was not playing good.
We got to do
Man.
something real funny real quick, though. You guys remember me telling you a couple weeks ago, and everyone was like, what? I said the Seahawks are going to be hard-pressed to win 3 more fucking games.
Oh, the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And they just got beat by the fucking Giants. Right?
Yeah.
They just got beat by the 49ers. They play the Falcons. It's a loss.
That's probably a loss. Yeah, Bills lost.
Rams,
Loss.
Maybe.
49ers,
Loss.
Loss.
Cardinals,
Loss.
Tie.
Hey, well, home or away?
home.
Tie. Yeah, can they tie?
So then they got the Jets and then the Cardinals and then the Packers and then the Vikings and then the Bears and the Rams. Where do you
This
see
is the Seahawks?
This is the fucking Seahawks. So when I told you guys 2 weeks ago that they'd be hard pressed for 3 more fucking wins, I was like, rah, 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 rah,
Dude,
rah.
that's worse than the Bears schedule. Those are all like potential playoff teams outside of the Arizona Cardinals and the
And the Jets.
Jets. Yeah.
Can we just sit here for a second as just fans for just a minute?
And think about how the
Regardless-
Lions are the Dallas Cowboys of last year, beating up on sub 500 teams and losing to over 500 teams.
No,
Hey,
no.
we're-
The
we'll
fact
find
that
out
the
real soon,
NFC
right?
North, statistically and record-wise, is the best division in football this year, by far.
Yeah.
Realize that
They-
if
they've
you
stayed the
take,
healthiest
but this is the thing, if you take the Lions, the Packers, or the Bears and put them in, I think it's 5 or 6 out of any division in the league right now, AFC or NFC, either one of 2 things is going to happen. One, we're either tied for first or we're in first place.
Well, the problem is the bottom teams in the AFC aren't just bad; they're
Terrible.
Really bad.
Really bad. Could be said. Listen, the same could be said about the NFC.
Carolina, and they've got to win.
Hold on now. Carolina,
Oh, yeah. Terrible.
Dallas,
Terrible.
the Seahawks.
Does
Terrible.
Dallas want to have this conversation at this point? Are they competing for?
Can we,
Dallas-
can we just
draft
all
They've got a
collectively
personnel
agree
They got a
that
personnel problem.
that
Their team
Jerry
doesn't try.
Jones, as much as we all think that, much as we all know that Jerry Jones is the problem in Dallas,
Jerry Jones is the problem in Dallas.
these people, I can't for the life of me
More ready to fire
See-
a radio host than a
see
coach. He's definitely
what the
problem.
hype of.
The problem is
They
the
hype the
fans are
Cowboys
more
up every
delusional than the
year.
freaking coach than Jerry Jones is.
It is a circus clown down there. It's a circus
Oh.
show that you pay to see
Oh.
during practice and everything. And it's like when it's time to deliver on Sundays, Thursdays, Mondays, whenever it is that you're playing, You shit the bed year in and year out. When is enough? Just blow this shit up.
I don't have an answer for that because they should have blew this shit up last year. But I need to talk about something that Charles just talked about. Jerry Jones threatening to fire a radio host over the questions he asked. Bro,
that old man got hot.
More willing to fire a radio host than his head coach.
When he asked him, what are you guys going to do about this losing that y'all are doing?
This is what kills me. Like,
actually, what did you listen to the guy's radio show, or is he part of the Cowboys?
It's part of the team.
Well,
yeah, it's a team thing, local in Dallas.
So.
But still, don't get mad because he's asking you the real hard questions. You're
right.
This is what
he's Mike McCarthy's boss too.
Yeah,
exactly. This is what kills me about this shit.
Easier to fire the radio guy though.
Yeah, pays the radio is way less.
This is what kills me. Like he was like, "That's not your job to ask those questions," and if that's not his job, tell me what the fuck his job is.
He's literally a journalist.
Yeah, I missed the memo.
He's literally. His only job description is to get the info for his listeners. I think Jerry Jones, this kills me because
Jerry Jones belongs in a nursing home.
Yes, I'm a free speech absolutist. I'm 100% a free speech absolutist, right? This dude didn't ask anything offensive. He didn't ask Jerry Jones the question that he should have asked. Why are you talking about black men's meat all the time? He didn't ask any questions about Jerry Jones' history of racism. He asked him legitimate team concerning questions. And the dude
he hurt his ego. That's what it was.
Oh,
yeah.
Let me ask y'all a question, because we all been doing this for quite some time. We're new, but we're not new to this, just being dickheads on the radio. However, if we have a guest on the show, 9 times out of 10, there's going to be questions for this guest to answer. So whether you're my boss or not, you came on my radio show. So why would you not assume I'm going to ask you questions about your team on a show that you pay for?
It's like that guy that came on the Pat McAfee show, and you can't tell me they didn't grill this dude on questions before he came on there, and that dude got pissed and wanted to fight him, and Pat's just get the fuck out of here, get the fuck off my show. And the guy got all pissed at him. It's like, why? It doesn't make any sense. You come on my show, I'm going to be able to ask you what I want to ask you. And if you don't like it, you shouldn't have came on the show.
Or you should have said, hey, look, I appreciate you having me on. Like, here's some topics I don't really want to get into right now. Is that okay?
Right. Or you can agree to throw me some softballs. That's just kind of how it is.
There's professional ways you can get this shit done. And Jerry, this is the thing. That radio station is playing in the Dallas Cowboys practice facility.
Oh, yeah.
It's playing in the offices because they own that radio station. And not only that, Mike McCarthy also does a weekly check-in with that same radio station. So it's not like Jerry Jones doesn't know who the fuck he has on the fucking air. He knows exactly who it is. You're fucking
check.
Exactly. Your goddamn ego
one of
was
the worst 82nd birthday presents. I mean,
he's 80 years old. I guess he belongs in a nursing home. Holy shit! That's crazy.
Respectfully, I get the whole ask. You can tell me what you don't want me to ask you and all that. I hear you, and that sounds good out loud. However, respectfully, fuck that.
That's what I'm saying. There's a way. Like any radio host can say, "No, I'm not going to go with that. That's not how my show operates. I'm going to ask you what I want to ask you." If you went to Pat McAfee and said, "Hey, these are the topics I don't want to talk about," Pat McAfee's either he really respects what you say, and he's not going to talk about certain things, or he's going to say, "No, go fuck yourself. I'm Pat fucking McAfee. I just got $100 million from this person and that person. Go fuck yourself." So
we get people that want to come on the show all the time, and they always want a list of questions and stuff. And Charles and I softball a lot of them, and Charles does a really good job of asking these questions that people don't want to
Where do you go? Oh, there you go.
Oh shit!
That's just how it is. Like Mike, you went to school for this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's professionalism, and then there's just people who he's the owner of the damn team. You think this isn't his first interview for hell. That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
That's weird shit.
It just killed me because, like I said, the questions were all appropriate questions about the team. Hey, Mr. GM.
It's just that he's
old, want to be,
and he just doesn't get this. I think he just doesn't care anymore.
He's a billionaire.
Yeah, he's a billionaire. What does he give a shit? I'm gonna fire you. Okay, adios. I'll get another one in 20 seconds. The second you're out the door.
And what's gonna happen to him afterwards?
Right.
Yeah. So
nothing's gonna happen to Jerry.
No, gosh.
Jerry is gonna be just
at one point in time, Jerry went after Roger Goodell. Right?
Matter of fact, Jerry might actually go out to the guy's car and just light it on fire because what's the guy gonna do? Like, you got no wheels.
It's on my property.
Yeah, it's on my property. They'll tow it, or he tows his car. Not that he would do that, but you know what I'm saying. It's just, he's got that FU money.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely does. It kills me. Like, I think part of it is. It's very much entitlement, but it is to me. I sit back and I'm like,
we could say the same thing.
The
about
national
craft with the
yes, no, I agree. But this is what I'm saying: the national media, no matter how bad Dallas is, always hypes
Dallas.
Always,
the NFL sucks the Dallas D, and it's been that way. You even see this in like the Aikman and the announcers, Joe Buck and all these guys when they would play the Packers. It would be Packers, Cowboys. It's such a weird. It's cringe when these two guys when they're playing each other. It's hard to watch. Let's just say Charles got the claw.
No, it is. But it's also the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah,
Circus. Whenever the circus comes to town, everyone talks about it. I mean, but there's the one I hate the most at this point, though, is the jet circus, and it's overtaking a lot of the sports airwaves. And
let's not talk about. We talked about the Jets for about 27 minutes. So let's just ignore the rest of the Jets. If anybody hasn't figured it out, Amari Cooper went to the Buffalo Bills, and Davante Adams teamed back up with Aaron Rodgers, captain, checkdown in what, Charles? What did you call it again? The New York Packers, or the New Jersey Packers. New Jersey Packers.
So because they're not in New York.
So Cam Akers to the Vikings. Which pretty much solidifies what we already knew without saying out loud, that Aaron Jones's hip is stopping him from playing.
It's a little bit worse than what people actually thought it was, yes.
It's something that has been hitting him year after year. I wish him very well. I hope he's better, but you don't pick up Cam Akers in a trade if you think you're going to get your number one running back, because Jordan Addison is a good number two running back. You ride the wave with Jordan Addison here and pick up somebody from your practice squad for a game, maybe two, if you think that. But so that's telling me that Jonesy is probably heading to the IR.
Yeah, I would agree.
So shout out to him. The Minnesota Vikings are back on the clock this week, I believe. They play. Where are they? Oh, they play the Lions. Oh boy. That game's going to get flexed, right?
I'm thinking so. The Lions-Viking game is going to get flexed for sure. What, a 4:25 game, probably prime time?
Our game got flexed from noon to 4:25.
Hey, that's not a bad thing. That means you're good. It means that more people want to watch it when you get flexed, right?
Philly's game against the Bengals in week 8 got moved from 4:45 to 1 p.m. start.
Yeah, I think that has more to say with what Cincy's doing right now than it does for Philly.
Yeah,
maybe the Raiders, Rams, or Panthers. No, Commanders is a good one.
Hey, Charles, did you keep track of everybody's picks last week, or how did we do it?
Yeah, we'll get there. Things are looking real good on that front. I'm on to see you're. If it's me, I'm flexing either the Raiders, Rams, or Jets, Steelers. So I'm flexing them into 305.
I don't think I think you're going to flex the Steelers, Jets more because you want to see what Devante is going to do with the Jets, and the Steelers are playing good football. Why would you not flex that game? That's a Aaron Rodgers versus.
I'm saying
flex it out.
Flex it out.
Yeah,
take it out of the Sunday night game.
Yeah. The Lions Vikings is going to be way better than Jets Steelers.
But the problem is, I believe that doesn't Fox have the rights usually to usually Detroit and Minnesota's Fox, so it's going to be a Fox prime time. They don't really have to flex it. It's going to be they'll just have to put it on more TVs.
But I'm like, if you're going to flex it and keep it on Fox, then you got to move it up to 4.
What I'm saying is they're not going to flex it. They'll just black out your local market. Because they used to do that with the Detroit Lions all the time down in Lower Michigan. They would put the Packer game on. They black out the Lions, and they would literally put the Packer game on Fox.
It's the best game of the Lions Vikings is going to be the best game.
That's what I mean. It's going to be on Fox probably.
Why would you black that out?
No. You said you said that. Why would they flex it? Don't push it back. Just literally black out the other team's markets, and that's the primetime game that you're going to see instead of the focal point. Instead of you saying, "Hey, I'm in Cincinnati's market. I'm getting I'm getting Minnesota, Detroit, regardless," because that's just the way that it gets moved. That happens a lot more than we think it does, especially with baseball. But now I hear Bally Sports they're changing their tune though, so we're gonna get more coverage of our local teams now in baseball.
Bally Sports has nothing to do with us anymore.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Yes. All the basketball games are blacked out this year though. Still.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I think that's stupid.
Yeah. Like
I
Bally
wish.
Sport. Yeah. The Bally Sports has a couple really nice people working for them, but.
Outside of the way that they're doing business, yeah. Hopefully Amazon takes care of that real quick.
So since the Vikings and Lions game is on Fox, the only 3:00 game that Fox has is the Chiefs and Niners, and so do you swap that out? That's probably why it's a 12:00 game versus the 3:00.
That's why I said the NFL is going to come in and flex this shit.
Yeah, the NFL's going to.
The Sunday night game is the only one that makes sense to flex. That's the only one that makes sense.
Course.
You're not. I don't give a unless you're in the goddamn state of New York or Pittsburgh.
Just say it.
I don't care. The Pittsburgh Steelers game is going to be trash. It's going to have 6 fucking viewers. Flex the shit and be done with it. It's super simple.
I can see. Looking at the schedule now and seeing the Fox schedule, I can see them flexing them to the Sunday night game.
Who's the Thursday night game this week?
That's the Broncos and the Saints.
Okay, so that by Thursday, I bet you by Thursday they're gonna have the game flexed. They'll, like Charles said, they'll figure it out.
If they flex it, that's the only one that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there's no other 3:00 Fox games.
Because I believe it has to be done by Friday. It has to be 24 or 48 hours in advance in order for tickets to transfer and all this weird stuff.
The only issue with that, again, do you put that? Because since most AFC games play on CBS majority of the time, am I wrong?
Yeah,
majority of them.
ABC, CBS, yeah.
So I don't know. Do you move that? I don't know what that scheduling looks like.
We're not the only ones who are talking about this. Lots of people are asking for the game to be flexed.
Well, yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen it across social media.
I'm not finding anything that says it's going to. So honestly, the game will probably be at noon.
Because you're not moving the 49ers Chiefs games to 12 o'clock. You're not doing that.
No. Time zone won't let you either, to be honest with you. The only thing you could do, and geographically it works though, because you're talking about 2 teams playing in the East Coast. Oh, never mind. The Lions are playing at Minnesota. That's the Central.
It's the Central.
Yeah. It's not that bad though. It's only 5 hours, 6 hours.
I don't know if they
would.
Have they ever flexed a noon?
A couple of years ago, they have.
They flexed a noon to 3:25 before.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't remember them ever flexing a noon.
Would be
to the Sunday night game.
They should.
That would be awesome if they did. Like you said, that is the matchup one. Put all the eyes in the focal point on the 2 teams that are playing the best right now.
I just want the 3 of you to relish in the fact that we're talking about flexing a Minnesota game, and none of you had Minnesota on the radar. Just throwing that out there.
You're just not gonna let this go all year long.
Relegated. Hey,
you guys relegated Minnesota.
And I still would. I changed nothing, and I regret nothing.
Are you saying that they can't finish in last place in the division right now?
I don't give a fuck how they finish. I'm talking about right now.
I regret nothing.
I started that off with right now. That's what I'm saying. Right now.
Actually, you know what?
Last episode we talked about the fact that the last time they went 5-0.
He was more hugging on the old quarterback there than he was actually thinking Minnesota was going to be good. So I think Charles had more faith in the old freaking the old dinosaur cowboy is what I call him. The old freaking.
You're adding too much to the conversation.
This ain't a fucking coloring book, all right?
I'm coloring outside the lines.
I think you know what I'm talking about. You had more faith in the quarterback than a lot of us.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm not helping you color.
Honestly, I whiffed on that one worse than a drunk guy swinging at the old spinner on the stick. There's no way I thought he was going to be anything good. I thought he was going to be terrible. Sam Darnold,
season is still young.
Charles calls him either or. Yeah, I thought he was going to be awful. You were right. 100. You 100%. You said he can throw the deep ball. He's got a good touch on the ball, and he's got great receivers. And Aaron Jones was a great compliment to that too as well. He helped out a lot.
Time out. Whoa. I just said it's going to be easy to throw the ball to Justin Jefferson.
No, you said he's got a very good touch on the ball. You said
time out. I just said he's gonna. It can't be that hard to throw the ball to Justin Jefferson. It got Kirk Cousins paid.
I did say that Justin Jefferson was gonna have to earn his yards.
He ain't earning shit. That's why. He ain't been earning nothing. It's been like, why fucking kid take candy from?
Yeah. I'm dragging.
Charles, you want to know the sad thing though is he's only got 8 more yards than Jaden Reed.
Yeah, no, Jaden Reed is phenomenal. We talked about this yesterday.
Jaden Reed has 1 more catch.
Yeah,
but you want to know what? Justin Jefferson's got 9 more targets.
Yeah.
So who's more efficient?
Oh, well, arguably now, Green Bay has an efficient offense because people are only getting 4 to 6 targets a game. Is
Juwan Jennings going to get a big payday?
For the 49ers?
You don't think
he's going to get a mid-contract type feel?
Dude, he's been freaking balling for 49ers.
I hope he doesn't expect to get what Brandon Ayuk got, because that's definitely not happening.
I'm not saying by the 49ers. I'm saying when Jennings' contract is up.
I'm like, I can see a team paying him, but I'm like, he's a solid number 2 anywhere.
He's gonna get. Depends on where he goes. He'd be number 1 on quite a few teams right now. He's like 5th in the league in yards or something, or maybe he's 10th, something like that. But anyway, he's got 400 yards receiving. That's pretty decent. It's 80 yards a game.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough situation. He's just the product of good football.
Is San Francisco even a good football team at this point?
Yeah, they still run a good offense. The personnel-wise, they're having issues. It's just like Dallas. Dallas has a good football team. They're just not a good football team. I mean, you have good players on your roster. You can't tell me you don't.
I think we all know why San Francisco is not elite this year. They're missing arguably the best player.
43% of their offensive targets.
I'm not trying to say that San Francisco is not a good football team. I'm like, with what they have right now, they are.
I love this conversation actually because the thing is last year Christian McCaffrey was only doing what he was doing because the 49ers were a good football team.
Are they still up
this year?
Absolutely, but it's hard to say.
This year without Christian McCaffrey and those, are they a good football team? Or did they go into the elite mode?
I think they definitely regressed, but a lot of that has to do with they don't have. You're missing But the thing is, the guy that came in his place, Mason, he's played fantastic in his place. It's not like he's been terrible.
And the guy that replaced Mason did fantastic too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that poor guy.
It just seems to be how it goes. No, all that tells you is no. The 49ers are still a good offense. They've got a head coaching issue, and Shanahan should be on the hot seat. To be honest with you, Shanahan realistically needs his guys. Just as much as everyone else.
I didn't realize that Kansas City has a bottom 5 defense.
Yeah, Kansas City. I mean,
Kansas City is mid.
Isn't that crazy? Last year they didn't. Last year they had a top 5 defense.
Yeah, but the year before that they had a terrible defense. That's Kansas. This is Kansas City's offensive Super Bowl year. Last year was their defensive Super Bowl year. This is how Kansas City does it. It's weird.
But can they repeat?
Yeah.
Is the confidence there it has been?
I'm going to ask you a question right now. And off the top of your head, who's your downright out of this world Super Bowl favorite this year? Name that one team that you think is going to just smash.
I don't have one.
You don't have one. Arguably the only one that could be said is maybe, and it's weird for me to say this, and I don't believe it out loud.
Detroit.
No, the Ravens.
Minnesota.
The Ravens got too many issues.
What team doesn't have issues right now?
That's what we were just talking about.
Every team has issues right about now.
The Ravens are more tested than the Lions.
Issue that is they have the best regular season running
that's
back.
That's why I said it how I said it. But I mean, so I was like, it's hard for me to say this out loud, but I think, in my opinion,
I can't even say it out loud.
If I had to, hey, pick one, it's not going to be the Lions. To me, arguably, it's the Ravens, but. This was the same way Kansas City was last year going into the season. Nobody thought they were going to beat the Bills. Nobody thought they were going to beat the Ravens.
Doubt, no matter what. I think that's more what it is than anything. It's not even the bad calls. I think it's the benefit of the doubt. On any play, they get to 50-50, and it's a coin toss for them.
Yeah, but the Kansas City right now during the regular season, it's terrible. Kansas City just doesn't look like that.
No, they
like the Super Bowl team. But that's my question.
Are they not the cruise control equivalent of any team like coasting, like an NBA team coasting through the season? That's what Kansas City does every year, and then in the playoffs they become some fucking Superman team, and then they win the whole thing. So
and it's not like they're not going to make it to the playoffs. I love what the Chargers are doing, but the Chargers are doing it against teams they should, and then are getting beat by teams they should. So when you follow that math, it tells you even if you make it to the playoffs, you're going to get beat by a playoff team.
Yeah, agreed.
So I think that story we need to wait to see game one, but. Yeah. Regardless, we expect Kansas City to have a home game.
Yeah. They're 5-0.
Yeah, be it a wild card home game or a divisional home game. You're getting a home game if you're Kansas City this year. I think the biggest question, arguably, is going to come playoff-wise from the NFC. I don't think 4 teams make it in from the NFC North, but I can see 3. And there is a legitimate case for 4, but we have to beat the fuck out of each other. So that's why I think it's going to end up being 3. I think that arguably at the end of the season will define things that it probably shouldn't, looking around the rest of the league, like the fucking Panthers and the Saints and yada, yada, yada. But it'll end up being what it is. Because there isn't that clear-cut team. The NFC East last year, you had multiple teams on their path to 13 wins, right? At this point, you're like, holy shit, the wild card's coming out of there. I think you have that same foot right now in the NFC North. The schedule probably doesn't allow for what we're hoping for, but I don't see why it couldn't happen, to be honest with you. It's the NFL. And all the teams in the NFC North right now are actually playing really good ball, regardless of the opponent. Because you could play terrible ball and win a football game, right?
Yeah.
The Eagles do it almost every week.
Hey. I'm just trying to get to next week.
Talking about all of that, we did absolutely well after going what I believe was 0-3 that first week.
Yeah, we did the kicker stinker test.
Yep.
First week.
We went 3-0 the next week.
Fantastic.
We had Detroit, Dallas with a score of 24-19. I'm pretty sure I switched these scores around on accident because I see 42-9 for the Ravens, and I believe that was pretty much the score for the Dallas game.
That literally was a few points off.
So collectively, we're doing really good. So Paul came in, Detroit versus Dallas, had Detroit winning 24-19. Charles had Ravens versus Washington, Ravens winning 42-9. It
wasn't that close.
It could have gotten there. I think a handful of plays on the Ravens defense, boneheaded
but Washington moves. Stayed close.
And we will talk about Washington here in a second. Fucking Washington. And then we had the Bills, Jets. And listen to this. 23-20.
Wait a minute.
Patrick had the Bills, Jets coming in at 23-20 with the Bills winning. So anybody out there...
Listen to that guy.
You should be paying attention, all right? You should be pick where you want, but pay attention.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't mean we're going to get it right every week, but one of us. And
then we gave Mike the cripple fight. We gave him Colts versus Titans, and we had the Colts pick to win that one. I believe that's how it ended up coming into fruition. Yeah.
Cripple fight is appropriate for those two teams.
Yeah.
It is. We try to pick it. We try to pick one out every week. I got a sweet grip fight this week. Okay, let's see here. Let's go ahead and let's get our picks in, and I'll start it off this week, and I'll pick for Patrick, and Patrick will pick for Paul, and Paul pick for Mike, and then Mike will pick for me. Okay, so I'll start us off. Let's see here. Let's see here. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
These nuts.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Lions Vikings, bro. I'm gonna give you Lions Vikings. Yeah.
Nice.
Lions Vikings. While he's looking up the numbers and things he needs to look up for that. I like the Vikings in this one, to be honest with you.
I can't pick against the Lions right now. I think there's a lot of emotion going to be coming out of that game. Detroit's going to be hungry. I don't think Minnesota is going to be able to stop Detroit from running the football right down their throat. Jared Goff is just like you said. He's serviceable. He's serviceable. He's good enough.
You hear that too?
Yeah. Do you have an extra speaker on in the background?
No, what's going on?
Not you.
Somebody's. I think.
What's that?
Oh, it's gone.
It's gone now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the Detroit Lions this one. I don't think it's gonna be as close as people think it's gonna be. I'm thinking a 30-23 football game. I believe Minnesota is a 2 or 3 point favorite with a 49.5 point spread. And this is a pick'em game because this is Minnesota by 2.5 at home. So this is a pick'em game. I think Detroit wins this outright 30-20.
I need to look up some games or something.
I think something's wrong with Pat's mic.
Couple things going on right now.
There's an echo coming when Pat talks.
Can you talk one more time, Patrick? I like the Lions pick. So you think that Jared Goff and that Detroit offense is going to give Brian Flores and that defense trouble, or do we think that Brian Flores and the defense that's been causing trouble throughout the whole league continues its path? He has had almost 2 weeks to prepare for this game. Do you think that comes into effect a little bit?
No, I don't think so. I think Detroit's got plenty of weapons to be able to outscore Minnesota. Minnesota hasn't really faced an offense.
I don't disagree with you. If Green Bay doesn't throw 4 interceptions, Minnesota didn't score 20 points. Yeah, exactly. I don't disagree with you. Green Bay's defense is much better than Detroit's, though. Especially now with Hutchinson gone. I think the only thing that you could have pointed to on the Lions defense was Hutch. And now that's gone. So
yeah,
I mean, it's interesting. I do like your pick. I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I said 42-9 for the Ravens Washington game.
Well,
right?
I think even for me, even with losing Aiden,
running back, there's a lot. Minnesota has beat up a little bit too.
Yeah, and I think Sam Darnold.
I think losing Aaron Jones is going to hurt Minnesota a lot more than people think.
Okay.
They did rely on Jones quite a bit to take the pressure off. Especially, he's a good blitz picker upper too. That's the other thing that you miss with Jones too. He picks up the blitz very well.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I know. I do like the pick. I think even with losing Aiden,
I still think Detroit is able probably to hold off.
I think they're going to be able to overcome it offensively. Plus the emotion of playing for them the rest of the season, and
I think Minnesota's going to run the fucking ball down Detroit's throat. To be honest with you,
we're going to see
their biggest run stopper. That's just the thing. It doesn't matter. I think that Minnesota's offensive line is going to open up some holes, and Cam Akers is going to have a day.
We shall see.
I heard rumors Cam Akers might not pass physical, so shit.
He's going to have a day somewhere that might not be on the football field.
Allegedly.
Let me see that.
Yeah, I don't know. Is he going to be the starter, or is Madison or whatever his name is? I would assume Madison's going to be in there, and Akers will come in next week. No, I guess it's only Tuesday. He could pass physical and all that stuff. Fairly easy. Yeah. All right, who am I picking for, Charles, here?
Yeah, it appears he's on the team and everything made it.
Oh, fantastic. All right, he did pass the physical then. Congratulations.
Still losing.
It's just...
Still losing.
I mean... I think this has, to me, I love this.
This has to scream game of the week.
But this is outside of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is the first team Detroit's playing that's on path for a playoff, right? And they lost to Tampa Bay terribly. Their offense couldn't do nothing to Tampa Bay's defense. And then you have the Seattle game. You have a bye week, and then you have Dallas at home, and you have way too many people super high on Detroit. You're going to have a fuckload of money coming in on Detroit. That's why I like Minnesota in this game.
I figure Minnesota's got to fuck up at some point, though.
I do too.
This is the perfect game for that to happen.
Yeah. It's if you picked Minnesota, just so everyone out there knows, if he had picked Minnesota, I would be talking Detroit, right?
Oh, I'm just trying to
just so everyone.
I'm just trying to add to my point.
Yeah. No, I do. To continue that, I think that's a very great point.
All right, who am I picking for here?
For me,
PR.
All right, Paul. Unfortunately, I got to give you the Jets Steelers on the Peacock, 7:25.
I like
Sunday
when
night
games are on
football.
the Peacock. I like the Amazon games too. They have way better cameras.
listen,
Way better
this
They
is
do have
be-
way better
the
cameras.
Amazon games are way better this year than they were the last couple years.
Well, they figure out the camera thing. They definitely figured that out.
I'm looking at the spread and everything.
Yeah, a couple of things out there for peeps. They're talking that this is going to be a two quarterback situation for the Steelers, but
Makes
Russell
sense.
Wilson's looking like he's going to get his first start.
Interesting.
I'm okay with this. Okay,
Hey,
so
whatever works.
what has Justin Fields done that makes you feel like he's the guy, especially considering with the context that it was Wilson and then later on down the road you brought in Fields. Now,
Yeah.
because Fields has been playing okay, you're allowing Wilson to probably become healthier than he's been in the last couple of years.
And let's break the numbers down. 106 for 160, 66% completion percentage, 1,100 yards.
That's his highest completion percentage ever, by the way.
5 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's taking care of the football. That's what has he done? He's taking care of the football. That's about all he's done.
Yeah. But do you consider
But he's got 231 rushing yards.
the Steelers a Super Bowl team?
Do I consider that defense Super Bowl
Okay,
caliber, but
perfect,
I don't
perfect,
consider
perfect.
it a Super Bowl team, no.
So why not go with Wilson? You've
I
had,
don't-
you've
yeah,
had
I-
6 games and nothing about your offense
Oh, right,
screams Super Bowl. So why not go with Wilson?
I agree 100%.
So
Why not? At
that point,
you
right?
have to lose, right?
Because your defense is still going, regardless of what happens. Your defense is going
Then
to
what
keep you in
happens if
games.
you get the best version of Russell Wilson versus the Jets? You knock the Jets out. What? You knock them down a peg. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You did what you're supposed to do.
A significant amount.
And this is the thing. Even if you start Russell,
Yeah.
I still don't think that it's making that much of a.
Oh, offensively, no. But if Russell Wilson can throw the ball.
I hear you.
He's
'Cause right
he's
now
right.
in passing yards per game, they're ranked 28th overall out of 32 teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
However,
Russell Wilson is a 260 to 280 yard guy when he's
but
That is
on
bad.
the other side of that token, their rushing game is a lot better than the Jets' offensive rushing game. And it's like literally
Well, yeah, you have a mobile quarterback. It's probably by the yards of Justin Fields compared to the
yeah,
yards
Fields
of
has-
Aaron
because
Rodgers.
we all know Najee Harris has ups and downs. He's inconsistent
Yeah.
each week.
0.8 points from Brees Hall, though.
man, George Pickens one carry for negative 10 yards. You gotta get another carry, George.
That was that weird play,
Yeah,
wasn't
that was
it?
that weird play.
This game is probably going to be super boring. I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
there's going to be a lot of 3 and outs on both sides. It's going to be boring as shit. Because you're going as bad as these offensive teams are, their defense screams. They're all over, like they're top 10 defenses in the game. But it's just whose quarterback play is going to be better. And again, Aaron Rodgers has his buddy back. I still don't think that moves the needle, but that might be, at least for this week, if he's able to play on Sunday night, that might help them edge them by 3 or 4 points. But I still don't think that it's going to be like, oh my God, Davante Adams got.
Well, it's not
touchdowns
gonna
and
be-
180 yards.
Can I interject a little bit of context into this?
Please.
It's literally going to be 2 words.
Is it more
TJ
than 2?
Watt.
Yeah.
I say this. I'm going to go with my gut.
That's
I'm
all
gonna go
I
with
got
my
to
gut.
say.
I'm going to go with my gut.
You got to say 2 letters and I'd understand. TJ.
I'm going to go with my gut.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Pittsburgh over
Yeah.
the Jets. Okay?
Yeah.
However, it is not going to be an outstanding scoring game. I don't feel it. I don't see it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be 23-17.
Okay. 23-17. I think you're being hella generous. I really do. Aaron Rodgers isn't scoring. Captain Checkdown ain't scoring. I don't think he scored.
Listen, their average is 18 points a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's exactly what
TJ Watt might win MVP this year.
TJ Watt.
He is that good.
That would be insane.
Like, we're in the NFC North and we're talking Aiden Hutchinson and yada, 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 and I love that.
He was right.
Great.
They were like, he was right there with him.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, like, Aiden Hutchinson was getting Defensive Player of the Year talk.
Yeah.
You know
TJ
what's
Watt
funny?
is getting MVP talk.
You know what's funny? Seeing, and this is nothing taken away from
I think
Myles
he gets 4
Garrett.
sacks this game.
It's nothing taken away from Myles Garrett's talent and his ability. He is a Defensive Player of the Year. Myles Garrett is a Defensive Player
Not
of
a
the Year.
Rudy Gobert Defensive Player of the
Like
Year.
he is a legit defensive player. He
When I
earned it.
think of
You know what I'm
guys that I
saying?
don't want to get hurt by, he's number one.
However,
Yeah.
both of them, if you really look at the numbers, TJ Watt and Myles Garrett are both on terrible offensive teams.
Yeah.
Like offensively, they
I
suck.
wish TJ would come home.
What player impacts the game more, basically?
But I'm saying
Comes down
TJ
to.
Watt being on an offensive team that cannot put points on the board is still the reason why the Steelers are the Steelers.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett, as good as he
had
is,
2 forced fumbles last week, bro.
Myles
Literally
Garrett is
won the
not
game.
doing it.
TJ
Even though
Watt
he's still
actually
doing
returned-
it,
he's
Myles
returned
Garrett is still
touchdowns.
doing it.
Yeah.
He's
Forced a
not
fumble.
able to sustain a win
Every-
like TJ Watt is able to sustain a win
Yeah.
for the
That's-
Steelers.
I think if the game stays at Sunday night, I truly do believe
Is this
that
coming
we
out
talk
party?
more about TJ Watt than we do Aaron Rodgers, and I think that's wild.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But that's my pick. 23-17 Steelers.
All right, you. To Mike.
Seeing as you've missed the last two, Mike, I feel like we got to break you in very gentle.
Let's
But
pull it right brass.
we're gonna keep it real simple for you, okay? We're gonna keep it real easy. I'm gonna give you the crippled game of the week:
Eagles Giants.
Patriots versus the Jaguars.
Patriots versus the Jaguars.
Okay.
Your lover boy Trevor Lawrence and the lost in the sauce
Who I can make
New
a
England Patriots.
wild argument that Trevor Lawrence has been playing better this year than he has for his contract. It is in fact his
And
teammates.
so has Joe Burrow. And how's that win-loss record look?
His teammates.
Joe
are-
Burrow is offensive MVP numbers.
Yeah, but no losers have ever won
Yeah.
MVP.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
I'm just saying, you got to win for me to look at you like an MVP. You
That's-
got to win.
Yeah.
You got to start winning for me to look at you like an MVP.
So
That was the
that's what I
biggest
got.
knock on CJ Stroud last year. So don't give me no. I don't want to hear nothing.
We don't want to hear it again. No.
Nothing.
There
Okay.
you go, buddy. And it's an 8:30 London game. It's a real early game.
Okay. Instantly, Jacksonville has the advantage because they're already in London.
After that,
So they
Bears
don't-
whooping.
Hey,
They didn't go home. They just sent Peterson home to go figure himself out and then bring him back.
they're still in London, so they get that. They're playing who again?
The Patriots.
Oh,
Drake May actually played pretty well. Didn't he score 3
Yeah,
tutties?
yeah.
Who
yeah.
gets
First
their
half,
second
one
win of the
I
season?
believe, or two picks.
Yeah. Did the
They're playing
Patriots
for their
win last
second
week?
win.
Oh yeah, they did not win. Yeah, but a tough call
I
against
just-
Houston. But for Baker Mayfield, but for Drake May to throw 3 tutties against that Houston defense,
He
Yeah.
didn't look bad. Yeah, he
actually
looked pretty good.
Arguably,
He looked bad. Hey,
Listen, here's the thing. For a first game for a rookie, I think he had the better
Touche.
first game than the rest of the rookies.
Yeah, I think he had 2 interceptions.
He definitely had better than us.
Yeah.
Say
He got
again?
the first overall pick.
Hey,
I was going to say, Caleb threw for 96 yards and 55
93.
interceptions.
93.
90.
across.
But the 55 interception stick. And then
Okay, that's possible.
yeah, Jane Daniels, I think he threw sub 2. Sub 2 he didn't have a pick, though. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
look,
he didn't have a pick until like week 5.
Yeah. CJ Stroud and
I
Kyler
think-
Murray were way better.
I think considering how shitty both of these teams are right
Yeah.
now, I think the travel advantage is in Jacksonville's favor since they're already there.
Yeah.
So I'm going Jacksonville. Let's go 28-14.
14. See, the thing here's something dangerous. I'm glad you picked Jacksonville. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win handedly. Arguably,
After what we did to him, they better
well,
win.
Jacksonville dropped 4 touchdowns.
Here's something.
4 touchdowns Jacksonville dropped. That game
we
should have
dropped
been
4 on them.
Here's a stat we forgot to mention. Texans were up 27-7 and put the backups in, and then he came in and played against the backups. So yeah, the stats are blown out of the proportion.
Drake May played the whole game.
Yeah, he played the whole game, but he didn't start. They didn't start moving the ball until the fourth quarter.
So garbage time.
Yeah, garbage time. It was 34
Stat
to 14.
padding, you say?
Yeah, it was 27-7 with a minute left in the third quarter, and they just put the backups in. Yeah.
I just don't think the Pats have enough to overcome the travel and all the other bullshit.
Caleb fucking Williams. What does that matter?
That's very true. They turn the ball over too much. New England's, I think they have the worst plus minus in football. They had 4 turnovers last week, and that didn't do them any favors.
We were everywhere on them, and we are a way better defense than the Patriots.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think Jacksonville's got the advantage.
Yeah,
and we all know London is Jacksonville's home away from home, so they got to make up for last week's loss. And what better way?
Yeah.
Here's the kicker. Everybody wants to call Kansas City lucky. I think the Bears are luckier than Kansas City.
You think
Without
so?
Listen,
Indubitably. I think the Bears should only have 1 fucking win so far this season. And I don't mean that negatively. I mean that they have been the benefit of terrible fucking team play. You had the only worst pick 6 so far this season may have came from fucking Jordan Love. But besides that fucking point, you had that game with Will Levis.
Yeah.
It's been a multitude. This last game against the Jaguars, the Jacksonville wide receivers dropped 4 fucking touchdowns. Not all caught it on the 30-yard line and could have ran it in the fucking end zone, bro. They were in the end zone and dropped the fucking ball.
I have one question.
Yes.
Ask me if I care.
I don't care if you care. Kansas City doesn't fucking care either. That's just my point. The Bears are just as lucky as fucking Kansas City is this year. And it's been fantastic to watch. That's awesome. But there are buzzsaws coming. And it's called Thanks Fucking Giving.
Listen. I am enjoying every week as it comes.
Talk for Paul. He just 4.
I'm enjoying where I'm at
I
right
was
now.
just adding points to my Jaguars pick. I like it. I think they're going to win by 3
take
touchdowns.
my joy away.
I'm not trying to.
Not yet, anyway.
I'm not trying to.
Even when
The
week
NFL
11
schedule will do
starts,
that.
even when week 11 starts, the fact that we're already 1 win away from matching last year's win, progress. If we make it to 8, remember how I said the year? My prediction was 8 to 9 wins. If we make it to 8 wins, hey,
that's going to be fantastic. Considering
I'm fucking fantastic.
You've got
that means we're getting better.
53% chance to win the 1 game out of the next 8.
That's beautiful for me.
I'm saying I agree with you. If the Bears get to 8, that is a conversation.
We're maybe like 2-3 wins away from actually getting a wild card spot. That's it.
You're an off-season pickup and a small draft pick away from a major playoff run. Where have the Bears been in the last, we'll say, 6 years? I don't
haven't won a playoff
than
game. I can't remember the last time we won a playoff game.
Fantastic question. I think we already know what the Packers' answer and what the Eagles' answer is going to be. But do you think that the Bears are going to be making any moves for the trade deadline here?
Yes. Ooh, the trade deadline?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I doubt that we'll do anything for the trade line because I haven't seen or heard anything.
Is their offensive line on the block?
That's the only thing that I could think of to trade for. But I don't think we have anything to give that we want to give away right now.
John Johnson, give him away.
No, hell no. Hell no. Anybody but him.
We had to give up Aaron Jones. Winning cost things. People don't realize that.
You have to
things.
give a little to get a little.
I think in the offseason, I think we will try to do better at solidifying that offensive line just for the simple fact that we can always get depth in everything else. But I feel like priority, I hope, because we've been saying this for the last 5 fucking years. We need to fix this offensive line. Granted, this offensive line has faced some of the worst defenses in the last 6 games, and Caleb has gotten better. And I'm hoping that confidence that they've, even with playing these bad teams, the confidence that they're meshing together can translate to at least still having a sub 200 yard 50 passing type game with a couple touchdowns. Even if it's a 1 pick every other 3-4 games, I'm fine with that. But it's like just to build that confidence amongst, especially because the young core, and building that confidence with the receiving core. So at next offseason, like Pat said, or even like both of y'all said, we're 1 draft or 2 draft picks away and a couple offseason acquisitions to making a legit playoff run for the next 2 to 3 years at least.
I think you guys finally got the offensive coordinator figured out. Mostly, but
I think the players finally got in his ass.
There's a lot that happened, including a team meeting that you guys finally now decided to do this thing called a first 15, a team script. So that's fantastic to see. And also watching you guys do the trick play that the 49ers,
Yo, that was so
Packers,
beautiful.
The Bears, and there's one other team that's done it so far this year. So we should see it again.
That was the most beautiful trick play I ever seen in my life.
I literally the Packers did it against the Rams the week before that.
I don't
And
care.
the 49ers did it against the Jets week 1.
I don't
Yeah.
care.
The exact same play.
Come on,
care.
bro.
I don't care.
It's the
It looks better when we do it.
Cocaine.
It looks better when we do it.
It's a copycat league. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why it
it
blows
is.
my mind.
Hey, listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
like
Exactly.
Joe Barry couldn't figure that out. And that's the thing I pick with Jeff and the Packers too. You got to start disguising more. Like it's going to work in the regular season, but the playoffs, like it's going to be a different animal. And I hope that's not a learning curve. I hope that's a listening curve. Don't listen to me. Just fucking watch game tape. It'll
Just
tell
do
you.
it.
Offensively, we're great. The only team that runs motion more than us is Miami, and they don't do that right now. So
They got nobody to run it with.
no, it's fantastic. But I like the pick. I don't see Drake May getting his first win. Although if
Crazier shit has happened this year.
schedule wise, this does seem like the only game it could happen.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
gotta get your feet wet somehow.
Here's the thing: if Jacksonville does the same thing they did against the Bears, the Patriots absolutely win this game. Except I think they win it like 17-10. If you have 4 wide receivers dropping touchdowns, old boy was targeted 8 times and didn't catch a single fucking one. What was his name?
Gabe Davis.
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh yeah, but it's also Will Levis.
What? No, I'm talking about for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's
Kirk.
either Gabe Davis or
No, I watched
No, it
Gabe
wasn't
Davis
Kirk.
drop one too.
Gabe
but
Davis
yeah.
dropped one, yeah.
Yeah, they had.
I
four-
think
that's
Kirk dropped one.
And I'm
That's
talking these
crazy.
were, and I'm not talking like these were contested catches.
Like they were straight in their palms.
fucking in
in
their
their
hands and hit
paws.
the numbers, dude. And just that's 4 touchdoughts, not including what
Could've been a
Jacksonville
whole different
already
ballgame.
scored. That's
Yeah.
28 points plus
Could have
what
been
they
a whole
scored.
different ballgame.
And that's not like a woulda, coulda, shoulda thing. That's literally just people doing their fucking job.
And you know what happens to
Yeah.
people like that? If I'm the coach, all you fuckers are running laps on Monday.
Ain't nobody going to a pub. That's for sure.
Where you go? I'm gonna go drink with the boys. Unless you're drinking puke, get your ass on the
pub.
field.
Speaking of the pub, did you guys happen to see this Fernando Tatis thing where they went out and got hammered at game 3? They thought the series was over and they all got fucked up.
Oh, Jesus
Here's my
Christ.
They were
kicker.
all
Here's my
hungover
kicker,
for game
right?
4.
Somebody in the dugout or somebody in the clubhouse was like, "All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow." And what? And everyone was like, "Yeah, we got practice
Yeah, and they
tomorrow."
went out. Yeah, they went out to the club. It was LA.
When
so.
do you have practice after a series win?
Oh, that's funny.
That guy's fucking special.
You know what? I don't know if it's a cultural thing or it's just they thought it was over.
Well, it's definitely a Fernando thing.
I'm
This is just
assuming it was him
I'm
and his
like, that's
entourage
Fernando
more than it's
Tatis
another
doing
player.
Fernando Tatis things.
100.
You think your teammate would tell you, like Charles says, you'd be like,
Yeah.
"Yo, bro, we got a game tomorrow." Like,
What the
I
fuck
mean,
are you doing?
if I'm being 100,
yeah,
if you told me to pick somebody out of the MLB who would do this, it would be Fernando.
oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Like the moment I read it, I was like, yeah, nobody else thought that. You just
Well,
went
didn't
fucking get
he
drunk
hurt
with a bunch
himself
of
last
people who
year? And he
didn't
was
play.
like, there's photos of him with a bunch of supermodels on a beach. Like,
Yeah, he's
he was
basically
supposed to
the
be doing
Devin
re-
Williams.
Yeah, he was supposed to be doing rehab, and he was out there with a bunch of hot women.
Yeah, he's
What's his face? Neighbors under concussion protocol at a
Oh yeah, you went to
Taylor
you went to
Swift
concert.
concert.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Hey man,
living his life.
he's living his best life. Yeah.
All right, Mike. Who you giving me?
Give
So
him some-
I was tempted to do the Green Bay Houston game,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna give you the Ravens and the Bucs because I know how you feel about Lamar, and the Bucs are actually playing pretty decently comparative to Baker Mayfield's earlier career. So I'm interested to see where you think this one goes.
I think this is going to be a better game than people think it is.
Oh yeah, I think the Bucs are a decent football team. I don't think they're a great team.
I think they can hold their own.
They can offensively. The Bucs can move the football against anybody.
Yep.
What defense
Defensively,
is going to show up though?
other
That's
question.
the problem.
So the
Come on,
Ravens
Mr.
are
Scientist.
favored at 180. So you bet 180 to win 100. While the Bucs are at plus 168. Betting 100 wins 168. Against the spread, the Ravens are favored 3.5 points, and the Bucs are underdogs at 4 points. Seems weird to me, but I believe the Ravens are at the Bucs. Yep, that's why that's that thing. That's crazy. Over under.
They're
on this
dogs
one
at
is-
home.
Yeah, by more than a field goal. So they're dogs at home. So you get 48.5, 4-point favorite. So that means you're looking at 24 to 23 ish, or I'm sorry, 28 to 23 ish. 28, 24 ish is what Vegas thinks. I think they're fucking crazy. Baker Mayfield just threw 3 interceptions against the Saints. The only reason that was close is because Baker Mayfield literally was Brett Favre that game, and it's the Saints who are just god awful since
not
the
nearly
first
as
couple weeks.
Not nearly as good since Philly exposed them.
Defensively, they've been terrible. How has Tampa been against the run this year? That's the big thing. How has Tampa been against the Tampa Bay's run defense has been fairly solid. They're currently 14th in the NFL in rushing yards allowed. They're giving up an average of 108 on the ground. Their defense has been effective at limiting big runs and keeping opposing teams. That has everything to do with their opponents. If they're giving up 108 to these people, I'm thinking Henry's going to eat.
Yeah.
I do the Ravens in this one. Again, I'll probably come back down to reality a little bit. I won't throw you guys a 42-9 like I did last week.
Watch it becomes a 42-9.
If Baker Mayfield's going to throw 3 interceptions against the Saints, I can account for 1.5 this game, guaranteed.
Yeah.
And I think with the ability of the Ravens to control that run game, I like Ravens 31, Bucs 17.
Nice.
Like 31-17 Ravens. How do you guys feel?
Yeah.
I can see that.
That's good.
Yeah, I think the margin is big enough where you're like, okay, the Ravens spanked that ass, but it's not so large where it's like a 47-9. You know what I'm saying?
No. Yeah.
Which goddamn 47-9 in Jerry world was
Well,
like.
See, the problem is Charles wanted that Baltimore-Washington game, which we didn't really talk about too much. But Jane Daniels has a lot of good things, a lot of positives to take away from that football game. That team is a few years away from being a good football team.
Oh, very much so. The Ravens are averaging 220 yards a game this year rushing.
It was like you said, if Washington was going to win that game, they would have needed a lot of help from turnovers and everything else. But they played great. They lost 30-23. Arguably, a few rookie mistakes cost them a touchdown in that game, which it could have went to overtime. But I didn't really they would win in overtime. But I was happy that a rookie quarterback played that well versus the Ravens. Better than what a lot of people
I think Jane Daniels is exactly who
said he was.
He's
the right quarterback for that system. Like you said, it's all going to come down to is it sustainable?
He's got the right guys around him. For one, Cliff Kingsbury is
the absolute best hire for getting Jaden Daniels quarterback. Absolutely, 100% perfect hire.
Yeah, I can only imagine what Caleb would be like with Cliff right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Which is wild to think out loud.
Yeah.
But no, I really like what I saw from Jane Daniels. I did, and I have all year. The one thing that I am over the moon excited about, and this is going to throw everyone for a loop, but he's not taking the hits this week that he was last week. And that can be said for week 2.
He didn't run the ball very much at all.
Week 4.
Yeah.
And that means, to me, that he's focusing more on staying healthy while being elite. And that's going to be the difference maker. And if he kept taking the hits he was taking in week 3, we weren't going to see him at Thanksgiving. There's no reality where that was going to come into fruition.
Yeah.
Something had to change, and that's really the one thing I was worried about. If he was a first read, second read, run the ball guy, you're going to get ripped. RG3 got ripped. Michael Vick got ripped. Everybody who does that gets ripped.
It doesn't matter. It's only a matter of time. The more times you put your body out there, the more times you have to you try to slide down. It only takes one player to roll up over your body, and you roll that ankle, roll that knee.
But the reason I personally love Cliff Kingsbury in this system with Jane Daniels is you go back to Cliff with Kyler. Right? Cliff was Kyler's biggest supporter.
Oh, yeah. He had his best season.
And arguably why Cliff lost his job is because he was more focused on keeping Kyler healthy than keeping his job.
Yeah.
And so now you're in a situation where Cliff is just as worried about keeping Jaden healthy as everyone else. And you look at that Washington team, and they're a small piece on the offensive line and
maybe another weapon and defensive player. Correct.
Yeah. And we're talking about Washington breaking the NFC East curse, right? Because if they win the NFC East this year, they're winning it next year. And that's wild to say, but they're only getting better. They're a young team getting better. And then you look at Dallas. Dallas is a falling apart team that's trying to figure out contracts and age. The Giants have no idea if they're even a football team half the time, although they are playing better now.
I wonder who
and the Eagles
on
are
this
getting older.
panel said that the Washington Commanders were a playoff team and the Cowboys weren't going to be shit this year.
We get a lot of shit around this stuff.
I wonder who said that.
I thought you were crazy at first, but
I thought you were crazy with the Vikings pick.
I just want to come out here and say, even though I drafted CeeDee Lamb, I said there's no fucking way that he's going to replicate anything that he did last season.
You weren't wrong.
I think
he is about the 7th or 8th best wide receiver this year right now.
Yeah.
A bunch of goddamn Nostradamus is in this bitch.
Do we know ball or do we know ball?
Paul, just wait until next week when we watch Fox. We watch one of these things. They're stealing one of our takes again. Absolutely ridiculous.
I'm just saying.
Mike had something to say about the NFC East.
Yeah, no, I think you guys are right. Literally, they're one pick on the offensive line and maybe an edge rusher away from completely killing the NFC East. The one thing, though, is that the Eagles got younger. We have the youngest defensive line in the division, and even with Lane Johnson, we have the third oldest offensive line in the division. So we're not old. It's a Sirianni problem, and once that gets figured out, the Eagles will be back to what they do.
I just want to see you guys be competitive, like the NFC North.
Outside of Mike and probably a couple of others, I actually really enjoy watching Philadelphia fandom suffer. It's been a fantastic handful of years. But now that I know Mike, like, it hurts me to say that out loud. Because I mean,
you're just a kind gentleman.
I am.
Yeah, look.
Let's be honest.
Philly fans are a whole nother animal. It's bad. While I, as a Philadelphia Eagles diehard fan, sucks. But really, Philadelphia fans in general can kiss my ass. Most of them are idiots, and
I say that about the Bears fans all the time. Bunch of fucking idiots.
Oh yeah, so, we got them everywhere. We got them everywhere. That's one of the fantastic things about our sport.
Jackasses all over the place.
Everywhere.
Do we have our power rankings anywhere? I know I got them written down.
Oh, I don't. Do you really want to do them this week, or do you want to push it back to next week?
Well, I just want to touch on them real quick to see.
I didn't. I thought we were going to collectively do them.
Okay, yeah. So our top 5 regular season teams. Here it is. No, I just wanted to call it out. Okay, so we have the Ravens at number 1. Do we see a change there?
Not this week. No.
Chiefs at number 2.
Correct.
Okay. So this right here, this is where we got 3 and 4 as the 49ers, Cincy, and then 5 as Green Bay or Detroit. That might just be my personal one, but
I want to bring something up after you're done there, Charles.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I think we take 49ers and Cincy out. We move Detroit up, Buffalo in there.
Yep.
And that rounds out. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fun. It'll be definitely worth it. What's up? What's up, PR?
So I'm scrolling through old notes,
Yeah.
and I found a list. We're 6 weeks in.
Yeah.
I think it's appropriate to revisit this to see if we still think we're on pace for these magical numbers that we.
Yeah, we do.
So
I got that
for
somewhere.
Charles, you said for Jordan Love
To have a successful season.
3,000 plus, 20 plus, and
he's on
16
pace.
less.
He's well on pace.
You're still confident with
Oh,
those
yeah.
numbers.
Oh, yeah.
On
All
pace.
right.
Yeah, 12
Patrick.
tutties, 5 interceptions, 1,100 yards, and he missed 2 games.
I think I was even more modest than you were.
You said 35, 25, and 12.
Yeah.
Still on track in your nothing
yeah.
changes in your book?
Nope.
Yeah.
Mike.
Not at
Mike.
all.
He just said his name. Called it out.
I'm just gonna say it for show purposes. 3,900, 25, and 12.
I think
The 25.
I think it's going to end up being more like 3,500 or 3,600.
All right.
22 and 12.
I got 32, 23, and 16. I think he's on pace for that, to be honest. Maybe even more on the yardage part. I could probably bump it up to 35. I don't think he's making 4,000 this year.
That's the only. Yeah, you guys have 3,000.
Did you say 35 touchdowns?
No,
He ain't getting
500 yards.
Oh, I was going to say he ain't getting
No, no.
35 touchdowns.
No, he's
No,
9
no, no, no,
touchdowns,
no.
5 interceptions.
No.
He'll be well closer to my pick on the 15 interceptions.
I was like, when you said 35, I'm like,
No.
boy, you are talking about like
No.
NBA.
Let's calm down.
Yeah.
Let's calm down.
I think.
But I think he can get over 3,000 yards as a rookie this year. Just
Well,
fine.
he's figured out that he is the focal point of the offense with his arm, and if he can throw for 280 yards a game, he's going to be well on pace to score over 3,500 yards.
I don't think he's making 4, so I'm just tossing that out the window.
4 is tough for an elite quarterback that's a veteran.
I think he's got one 280-yard game left. Looking at the defenses the Bears are playing coming up.
So
Yeah,
I still think he can get to 32.
Game, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I think 32 is a realistic number too, but
Yeah.
at
27 to
most-
32. I would be
at
comfortable. There's
most-
a bet in there, 27 to 32.
at most 35. But I think at the low end, I would say maybe 29, 3,000 with a few yards over the 3,000.
Who did the Bears play coming out of the bye week?
Washington.
Oh, they can. Oh, Baltimore struggled to throw the ball versus Washington's defense. Yeah, it might be one of those 180-yard games for him.
Right now, he has 12 touchdowns for the season.
Yeah.
Well, here's
So he's halfway there on the touchdown aspect, and he has already 5 picks, so he's pretty much halfway there on the picks as well. So that aspect, I think he can get. Whether it's more or less, it just depends on how the back end of the schedule looks like.
he had a 4-touchdown game last week, right? When that brought him up to 9.
Is it 9?
9 total touchdowns. He had 9 touchdowns and 5
I think he has 5 interceptions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He's got 1,300 yards.
So he's on pace, but I think it all depends on what happens after week 11. Once week 11 starts, that determines whether it goes up or down.
Looking at the Bears' future schedule, you've got the Commanders, and then you've got the Cardinals. Now, as a collective group, you should win the Cardinals, but the Bears are not favored in that game. So, actually, the only game you guys are favored in to end realistically, and I don't see it, but the Patriots. I see a couple more in here that you are. But this is what I mean by defense. The Patriots' defense is really good, too. I don't think you're going to get 280 on them.
Yeah, they're pretty decent, yeah.
So you got the Commanders' defense, the Cardinals' defense, the Patriots, the Packers, the Vikings, the Lions, the 49ers, the Vikings, the Lions, the Seahawks, the Packers.
Again, come week 11, it's going to be a hard little dialogue.
Yeah. That's why to me the yards is a shake of the dice, more or less. I'm not comfortable saying he's going to be on the 27 end, but I have that same feeling on the 32 end, so it's okay, or the 36 end.
Like the 32 is not unrealistic.
No, you know what
I'm saying?
I think 28 to 32. I think 28 to 32.
But I think he's very capable of getting the touchdowns and the interceptions roughly around that area, depending on the defense and stuff like that, especially the back 9. Which is
a far cry, because, dude, after game 1, I'm like, bro, he ain't hitting 25.
No.
But he's come a long way in 6 weeks.
Yeah, 1,300 yards gets you, I believe that's top 12.
What's
I think that's top 12.
NFL?
Yeah.
15. He's 14.
I think it's probably top 15. I think
14.
Okay.
Yeah. He's
'cause
just
I know Jordan's
But still, though,
he's
for a
17
rookie,
and 11.
just below
starting
Jared Goff.
slow as he did. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. We joke and we're like, yeah, Jordan's at 11 and he missed 2 games. Caleb played 2 games and he still wasn't there. So yeah, I believe you. Those first 2, but the thing that I enjoyed most about Caleb so far, to be honest with you, is the significant jump from week 2 to week 3.
Yeah.
Week 1 and week 2, you're like,
What's happening here? What are we doing?
and then all
And
of a
it's
sudden, like,
you can see it in his
Yeah,
eyes,
yeah,
the
yeah,
confidence.
yeah.
And like you always said, right in the preseason, I want to see more about ball. I don't want to see about his personal shit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think that they've started to not so much focus on his personal shit. And now he's focused, especially when you got DJ Moore out here talking about in meetings and shit, hey, y'all are missing too much shit.
Mhm.
Like Caleb is calling his receivers out on their shit. So it's like he's trying to become the leader that the Bears need as a quarterback. Again, it's his rookie season, and I'm just mentally
super optimistic. I would be.
I'm just keeping my heart real close to my chest. Just I ain't trying to be out jumping over bridges and
that
shit.
schedule really is brutal, though.
You know what I'm saying?
Holy spit.
Can I tell you guys something? I'm gonna actually. You guys take a while. How many times has Deshaun Watson been sacked this season?
17.
We're what week 6?
This season, yeah.
So I can tell you for a fact, it was 5 last week. It was 6 the week before. So I'm gonna say 45 times already.
How old is he?
That would break the NFL record.
How old is he?
Yeah, I said 17. Now my number feels great.
How old is he? How old is Deshaun Watson?
I don't know what his age.
30, 31, something like that.
Come on, Paul. Throw
We'll
me a
go
number.
with 15.
31.
31. Oh, I didn't know 45 was that far off. Sam Howell was getting.
Yeah, but 45 would break the NFL record.
I'm like, he's damn near close. Shit.
17 was right. Hey, I was closest without going over.
He's
bitches.
averaging being sacked over 6 times a fucking game.
Yeah,
You should just
Bro.
want to quit at this point.
Bro, look, this is
hold
how.
the ball for way too long.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the dude has his offensive line is crippled. They lost their backup center in the game versus Philly, and they lost their third string center in the fucking game to Philly.
It's just,
They also lost a right tackle and 2 of their safeties. Like
I think that he's
That
just
team
gonna
is
get hurt
fucked.
and he's just gonna slide off into his career-ending injury and get paid. I think that's what's gonna happen to him. I don't want to say that's a good thing for him. I'm just saying that's probably what's gonna happen. He'll get hurt. He'll play this out. He'll do a David Bakhtiari type thing, and he's just gonna end his career getting paid.
Does he
I
over
think-
under 76 sacks?
76
Over.
sacks. He gets hurt before that happens. I can see him I bet you he gets to 50 and he gets hurt.
Sam
yes,
Howell,
but at the
Howell
pay-
only got hit 55 times.
But at the pace he's going right now, Deshaun Watson's getting his ass kicked.
At
Oh,
31,
yeah.
31 sacks in 6 weeks already.
Yeah.
that's insanity.
That is ridiculous.
Okay.
You are literally
So still, every
45
defense,
sacks away from the record.
every defense is, no matter what defense you play, they're whooping your ass.
That's awesome.
Bro,
That's great.
I'm telling you.
That's for Vin
if-
for all the women that he abused.
Yeah, no shit. If
Those
you watch,
weird- oh,
if you-
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
if you watch the Philly game, we didn't blitz exotically. We used Cooper DeJean. Our
Probably
nickel
didn't
corner
need
got
to- you need to blitz.
our cornerback got our rookie quarterback got his first sack on Deshaun Watson. Bryce Hoff got his first sack. Nolan Smith got his first sack. Coming into the game, we only had 6 sacks total this year. We had 5 in the game versus Cleveland.
31 sacks is diabolical.
Crazy.
That is diabolical. Your front office should get fired for putting that kind of offensive line
I
for him.
did say he was on it was on record pace, but Mike saying 45 would have broke the mold. That
Bro,
would've
I'm
set
telling
that,
you.
NFL record.
I'm telling you, Philly's pass rush this year is trash, and we got him 5 times. Yeah, it wouldn't have surprised me if you said 50, honestly.
Yeah, naming those 2 stats, the fact that 12 in 2 games is, you would have thought that 40 would have probably been the number, but I would have thought there would have been one game where they protected his ass, but apparently not.
No.
They just let
Who
everybody
walks
in.
away with the first overall pick this year?
The Carolina Panthers.
Or the
Clearly,
Cleveland
we were
Browns.
wrong on them going winless because they won a game.
Well, I think we all were like, I didn't think they were going to lose every game. I thought they'd get a couple.
Who was that?
The Carolina
No,
Panthers.
I definitely didn't think they were going to win a game at all. There was no chance.
The fact that they switched over, they're better switching quarterbacks,
Ish.
but I don't think
It's not that much.
I don't think offensively they have enough firepower to beat anybody. That's really what it comes down to. Hubbard came back. You got the Red Rocket winging the ball. They don't have any weapons.
6 teams with only 1 wins going into week 6.
Yeah, that's the first time I think this has ever happened in the NFL, the history of the NFL.
And 4 out of those 6 are in the AFC.
Yeah, so I said there's a lot of trash teams in the AFC. Arguably, the Bears should be another one.
6 teams with
Or
1
no.
win. That's insanity.
Charles.
It's crazy.
Yeah, how many did you say, Paul? Did you not add another one on there?
What?
Never mind.
The Bears are better than everybody over these motherfuckers.
Yeah, well, if the Bears aren't better than all those teams, then they got something.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
wrong.
Jacksonville has the 32 worst ranked pass defense in the NFL, and had their receivers caught the ball, you still would have lost by 2 touchdowns.
Don't give a fuck.
Just he doesn't care about Rodgers.
4-2.
The one thing the thing I'm excited for is the teams you're playing. Like the next step of evolution, I'd be looking for in Caleb. The teams you're playing haven't allowed him to be in a situation to make decisions.
Yeah.
And
That'll
you're like,
change week 11.
And what are you talking about? He makes decisions when he throws all the time. Yeah, not when you're up 30. Like the games you were down, especially
Like in Houston, when we had a chance to win back in Houston and it didn't fucking pan out.
That panned out. Even the Titans game, right? If it wasn't for
That
the
interception.
So that's like the progression I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I want to wear
see that
the 2-minute drives. That's what it is. The
Week
2-minute
11,
drives.
where the training wheels come off week 11.
I think it's going to be much earlier than that, to be honest with you. I think the Cardinals, that Cardinals game might be pretty
We
spectacular.
shall see.
I think it's going to be a good game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy, Charles! Breaking news for the podcast. Sean got back to me. So it looks like if you guys are down to come back on the show with these guys, we are going to be having a sports betting podcast episode with 2 guys from Las Vegas that are millionaires that won a shitload of money. We're gonna do a little bit of gambling.
I'm down. $5 on black.
We'll break some money.
And, to add to
some
that
hundos.
too, I think Green Bay did pick up a kicker, right?
Yeah, McManus. Yeah,
McManus.
the old kicker. I believe last year he was in Jacksonville in 23, and before that he was the kicker for the Denver Broncos for 8-9 years.
Yep, Packers adding veteran kicker Brandon McManus.
But did you see what I said?
Braden Narvison
He's
earlier.
inside 50. He's 91% for his career.
That's fantastic.
That's
And, I mean,
insanity.
I was
Pretty
watching
damn
Matt's press conference, and like, he didn't have anything to say on the kicker, which was weird.
At
He had
this
nothing
point,
to say.
you're just quiet about it because they literally had to try the guy out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They talked about the kicker that came in and everything, and
It's not
it
like
was
you're
just-
super excited that you have to keep switching kickers all over the time.
Well, week 6, and we're still talking about kickers. Yeah, it's probably pretty
Yeah.
upsetting considering like how does Green Bay pick franchise quarterbacks easier than replacing?
Yeah,
a
I
kicker?
think you puke in your mouth a little bit when you start
valid
talking
question.
about kickers because it's just that sour taste, and you're 4-2, and arguably you should be 5-1 because of a kicker, or actually should be 6-0
Yeah.
outside of
Yeah.
a kicker.
Yeah. Had we a kicker? Had we a kicker?
It is what it is. That's how the NFL goes.
This is the old end of the show. Anybody got anything else they want to add?
Go Bears.
Go Bears.
I believe autocorrect hit you there. I think you meant to say go Pack go.
That's a negative. That will never come out of my mouth.
Oh, that
Never
should be
say
the bet.
never.
That should be the
say
bet.
Never.
Not this year. We'll reconvene
Never
for
say
25-26.
never. I said never, that I would never poop my pants one time as an adult. I'll never poop my pants. A couple weeks later, I pooped my pants.
Well, that's a promise you don't ever want to make.
Yeah, that's a story
Yeah.
for another time.
Hey, we'll make a bet next summer. Okay,
Well,
next summer.
We already made a bet. We already made a bet this year, Paul, with the Bears.
I
Remember the
honestly,
Super
I
Bowl?
don't remember, to be honest.
It was a Super Bowl bet. Remember, Charles and I said we get what, tattoos or
Yeah.
something?
I clearly remember saying I have no part in that.
No,
I remember
No,
that.
the Bears make it
I'm
to the
talking
Super
about
Bowl.
us three. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about us three. Me doing something.
Oh, next year we'll all make a bet next year. All right?
And we're gonna do it live at my house.
Sure, fine. I'll make any bet you want. It's just Charles and I will not really. We're not going to do the spit on the palm thing, but yeah, we'll make bet.
No,
we're not-
that's just fucking weird. What are we in 6th grade?
No, yeah.
I only cross streams.
Oh my
Yeah, you got a
god.
pool. We can piss in the
The
pool.
only way-
Definitely not doing that one.
It's the only way to seal a deal. It's the only way to truly seal a
Bro,
deal is to cross
his-
streams.
His wife would lose her fucking mind.
You would never be able to
Oh
come
my
back to the house.
god. No, we'd all
What?
get banned.
What did
That's a universal code thing. What?
Not in this house.
It's a universal thing.
Yeah,
Your
not in her
address is
universe.
inside the universe.
Listen, I'll make sure to ask her
You're now
as a
banned.
precursor, and then I'll get back to you.
Okay. Just make
Fair
sure
enough.
you stress
Fair
the
enough.
fact that it's a universal
Yeah,
code
yeah.
thing.
I'll make sure that it's
okay.
a universal
Universal
code.
code.
And understand that your address is inside the universe. Okay?
Got
That's
it.
funny.
Got it. Understood.
Anything else?
Oh, I think we covered most of
Got
it.
myself right
Remember,
now.
check out at beginning of the show and the end of the show. Charles has a sneaky treat.
I got one thing.
Charles Fantasy League needs to be studied because ain't no fucking way he's got 4 wins by the skin of his ass.
He's also scored the most points too, so arguably he's played the toughest schedule. So
I've
either
had the
way-
most
either
points
way.
scored against me too.
Well,
Like,
that's
the
what I said.
fuck?
The toughest schedule. That's why I said.
Yeah.
What he's been able to pull off this year
I
is,
did not.
is makes
honestly,
no
I did
fucking
not-
sense.
I did not see Kincaid getting enough points to beat Mike.
And the
but I
fact
mean,
that
he did it.
Jones, what was his name? Mike, what's his last name? Jones,
Who?
the
Bryce
running
Allen.
back from
one?
the Jets.
Right,
Not
right.
Hall,
you
the other
talking
one.
about? Oh, Braylon Allen or whatever his name
The
is.
Braylon
fact that he
Allen,
got 0.8 points.
Yeah.
Did
Well,
not
not
see that
just
coming.
that.
Hey, all he
Yeah,
needed.
Dude,
he
not
was
just
like,
that. Yeah, if he would have made one more field goal, I would have
He
won.
missed 2. You had 2 opportunities to make one. He missed them both. Yeah.
The fact that
Son of a
Charles is
bitch.
I don't know what God you're praying to,
It's
but I need you to let in on the secret.
Hashtags.
Bro, I'm telling you, you got to remember when we started, he was I was like a 30-point dog to him. Like he was supposed to just demolish me.
I was really like Thursday. I was supposed to have $140, and he was supposed to have 98. And then,
Yeah.
and then going into that night, he was supposed to be 130, and I was like 120, and we ended 113, 111, or some shit. Like
Yep.
Is this the football god that Charles is praying to?
Yes.
Yep, that would be the guy.
definitely.
That's
Looks like
definitely
me.
him.
Yeah, that mustache though, the curling up in the mustache.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like what you? I just want to
That's
listen.
what AI thinks you should have as far as a mustache.
Listen,
I'll have to start
as much
waxing
as we are on the professional side, you're Packers, I'm Bears.
Yeah.
We have that distinct pleasure of whatever.
Yeah.
I have to commend you on the fucking. Listen,
Thank you.
what you're doing, I have never seen in my life.
Thank you. Yeah,
Ever.
so-
I've never seen one person win so many close games in one season in my life.
I've gotten hella lucky.
Like,
Last year, I was
if
losing
you-
these games too. I don't get it.
If you were to put this on ESPN and be like, that's not real, that's Photoshop. No, nay, this is real.
Yeah. I expect an email soon. I do. Last week I was part of 4.7%. I think I'm like sub 2% now left of ESPN group.
Like,
I'm still undefeated.
this, what you're doing is,
ESPN Fantasy App's gonna have a fucking drug test notification on your front door.
like, he's got some type of
Got
cheat
random-
app in the back or something. He's using that app in the back.
It is going to come crashing down eventually. I mean, you think.
But you're holding on to that deer stick for as long as you can.
But here's the thing, though, right? Like, even if I would have beat him, that victory would have put me in second place to him.
Yeah.
So,
But still, though, the fact that you had this in the bag.
Yeah.
Y'all said that. You and Pat said that in the chat, and I was
Brad
like,
stayed really
he
quiet
has-
too, bro.
he has. I said, this is what I said. Charles has Dalton Kincaid, and I have Braylon Allen and a kicker. There's no way Braylon Allen gets more points than Kincaid. And for a minute, through the first 3 quarters of the game, I was like, okay, shit, I might actually win this
I got a
motherfucker.
chance. And
then
this is 2 field goals.
This fucking bum, Greg Zuerlein, misses 2 field goals, and I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Well, they
like,
just got Davante Adams, so that should change.
I give a shit about Davante Adams.
I think I'm gonna put a petition to get him.
Bro, if I see somebody playing Aaron Rodgers, I know I'm gonna win that week.
I'm putting a petition to get him kicked out the league.
Listen, I appreciate you. Playoffs are a different animal. Last week I had a 97% chance to make it in. After a win this week, I'm down to a 95% chance. So
shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Please.
Y'all have to forgive Paul because he's not doing great in this league.
Listen.
And he's not doing great in the other league.
So I'm 3-3 in our league.
Yeah.
Finally just won a game after 2 games just getting
ass whooping
shit on.
Happens.
And then in the league for my church, when I tell you the last 4 games, this is how close they've been. You ready for this differential? Look at this bullshit. Went on a 2-game win streak, killing it. 144, 21, 26, 110, 85. I was like, I'm in this bitch. Are you ready for the next 4 games?
Yep.
98-14 to 98-58. I lost. 92-12, 103-48. I lost. Week 5, 111.36, 114.9. I lost. This last week, 123.2, 127.6.
yeah, you gotta hit that waiver wire, bro.
I have been.
Oh yeah, no.
Trust me.
Yeah. Dude is active on the waiver wire.
Honestly, because we're so far into the season now, I can tell you not that it's magic or anything. I have seriously just gotten lucky, but it's about target share. To me, the most important fucking thing possible is target share. It's why I went and picked up Wan'Dale Robinson over everyone else. Wan'Dale Robinson was averaging 10 fucking targets a game, and I don't care if you get a touchdown in a PPR league. That's
touchdowns.
10, without any yards at all. That's 10 points. It's wholly or close to 10 points. With the catch, you can't just have the target. But
Depends on the yards and the catch. Yeah, it's at least between, because the touchdown, depending on the league, it could be 4 to 6 points.
Yeah,
depending, right? Most of them are 6 points plus the catch. That gives you 7 points off rip, and depending if it's 10 to 15 yards, you just gave yourself 8 to 9 points off of just one fucking play.
Yeah, so targets are very important to me.
I beat somebody last year. This guy had literally, I think he caught the ball 6 times, but only had 15 yards. And they're like, how the fuck do you have so many points? I'm like, PPR, bitch.
Yeah, that's with I
just need you to catch the ball. That's it. And positive yards.
I need Malik Neighbors to be back. Like, I don't care. Like, to me, Malik Neighbors gets the touchdowns, but Wan'Dale gets the catches and yards. With Malik Neighbors in, Wan'Dale averages like 11 targets, 8 catches, and like 80 yards. And that's money.
That's good. Takes
that's a good flex right there.
And he's not. He won't be back versus the Eagles. I don't think.
No, but with Malik Neighbors out, he gets 8 targets, 4 or 5 catches, and maybe a touchdown. If you don't get that touchdown, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I'm sure that you've already gotten to the comments in the beginning, but trick or treat, score a treat. Yeah, I'm not taking the blur off, but trick or treat, score a treat. Comment. We'll pick from that section and send you your gift. So don't forget, all month long, all the Burr months. So that's September, October, November, December. We've been doing giveaways. So far, I'm having a great Christmas. So keep it up. I'd like to be giving more of this away, so just comment away, trick or treat, score a treat, and we'll put you in a drawing. So thank you guys so much again for stopping by. Thank everyone out there for listening, for commenting, for sharing. The more shares, the better. We love that. We greatly appreciate your shares. And keep commenting, telling us what you like, what you dislike. We listen to it all. That's not the question, though. Ask me if I care. On another episode, of course. We love you all out there so very much. The world is a much better place with you in it. We love you more.